And we're off. That's exactly it. In the bottom left-hand side of the map, 2000 atmospheres, it's Cascade souL. And in the top right, the player who's got a bit of catching up to do. It's Ago's Elazer. Yeah. I think the fact that we broke this up was an incredibly good idea. I don't think that I could have gone like another 7 hours or something. I probably would have died, to be honest. And now the players are looking fresh, which is really exciting. As, yeah, it's just like fresh mindset. All the builds that you tried yesterday, maybe it's time to try them again. Bust out something new, that would be insane. Really though, the one thing that I think we can take away from this is, why does Elazer never go for a 16 pool? That's on my list of questions to ask him. But why? Yeah, make sure to go use that Matcherino coupon code though, guys. As, of course, it's free, adds 50 cents to the prize pool, aka gives each of them a quarter. And honestly, if I had a quarter that I could give someone, I'd do it. It's like, yeah, why not? Not a lot of work for me. But then quarters add up for you. Okay, so 2000 atmospheres, a map we saw quite a bit of yesterday. I mean, about 3 times, I think, at least. Now we're back to it. I think that this is considered to be a good Zerg map. I think Elazer had some good success on it. If I want to recall, that would have actually been a good statistic for us to keep up on. Elazer goes, puts his drone in the safe spot, the safe space, the bad place. Queen's on the way. Drones, factory, going and doing their thing. The Reaper for souL, doing good. souL's Reaper control yesterday was pretty darn good. I don't think I recall him really making any blunders and losing it. And that's actually rather impressive, because like everyone loses a Reaper. Even the best Terrans do, but yeah, I don't think I recall souL ever losing a Reaper to like something silly, so really darn good with that control. Very active with that Reaper. And then of course his macro seems to be on point behind it. Elazer, similar boat. If I had to say one thing about Elazer's play, it's just that he took a little bit too much damage in the series, I think, from Hellions. Like, there was quite a few occasions of, like, between 10 and 20 drones dying to just a fairly regular Hellion dive-in, which I know is unavoidable for Zerg to stop, but maybe Elazer could have shut some of those down a little bit harder. Maybe he was playing a little bit too greedy if we look at it retroactively. But then at the same time, you kind of have to play greedy because a guy like souL already has his 3rd CC done by the 3rd or 4th minute mark. That's just the way he rolls. Yeah, make sure to let your friends know that this match is continuing on, ladies and gentlemen. Retweet on the Twitters and such. Banshee's on the way for souL. Playing rather similar to how he did yesterday most games. Get out the 2 Banshees. Poke with the Reapers and Hellions. Follow it up with a drop, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's not like we saw souL going like hard into the late game. His mid game has actually been incredibly confident. And I know that I'm probably coming off a little bit biased here, as someone who mains Terran, but really it was just all about like just the solidness, the execution of the opener, and then going into like the 2 medivac drop, following it up with macro, that kind of thing. Elazer's success really came from, I think, when he got out mutas a lot of the time. Like, he did have quite good success with his mutas. And then really just his counterattacks and such were rather lethal. souL making double eBays. 4 eBays. So a bit of a glitch in the matrix there for souL. Already building spare eBays. So yeah, maybe souL's not just waking up a little bit still. This is actually a water map, I just realized, as that Hellion corpse floated up. We are under the sea. Under the sea. The 2 Banshees looking for some damage, finding 2 drones. Really makes you wonder how much it affects souL's build, him committing to 2 eBays that he definitely didn't need. I wonder if he's gonna notice. Yeah, not a lot of damage getting done by souL. Elaser's looking rather rock solid. Ling's trying to pursue the Hellions. souL gets a couple as they pop on out. Banshee's coming on in, poking this 3rd base too. We'll see if souL can get any drones. Working away on the Spore Crawler, really trying to get anything that he can. Does get the Spore Crawler, forces the cancel. But yeah, Elaser's just happily getting into Spires. I mean, souL hasn't got much damage done at all. souL, I mean, honestly, has got to be affected some degree to burning 250 extra minerals on eBays. Like, it's not a huge deal, but it's really not insignificant, you know? It's sort of like a $20 bill. It's like that's a decent chunk of money. But then at the same time, it's not a ton, you know? souL gets a drop off in the main base, interestingly enough. He hasn't gone for a lot of these. We're going to see if he can target down the Banelands. He tries. Does he start unloading onto those Banes? No, he doesn't. He'd rather keep his marine count alive. There we go. Now he's unloading. We'll see if he can get these Banes. Is he going to split? Is he going to what? Loads up partially. Yeah, just trying to target down the Banes. All the while keeping the pressure on his opponent. But yeah, so far not seeing a lot done by souL. He does have an armory on the way. Just the one. No, wait, no, he actually built 2. Oh my god, souL. souL. What's happening, man? Oh. And now he's using one of each of his eBays. It's kind of funny that this happens in literally the first game. You think that this is something that would happen in like the last game of the day, but no. souL's putting pressure on Elazer so far. That looks like Elazer getting a pretty solid surround. No mutas have been made for Elazer just yet, so souL's still having potential for dropping about and stuff, but eventually Elazer is just going to fire up those mutas. I mean, he's already got the flyer attack going. souL's Banshee is back at it again, getting some damage done. 9 drones in all is definitely not insignificant, but it's not the world again, and Elazer's holding on. He's now getting up the mutas. I do find it interesting that Elazer, who died to a lot of pushes yesterday, did seemingly delay his mutas this game to really focus on his defense. Elazer going off creep to try and attack souL here. I don't know if this is the best decision for him. I think these Marines for souL are actually going to do alright here. Yeah, Elazer throws away all his Lings and Banes, trades out. I'm not sure that was the greatest trade in the world. He's actually got no Banelings now, so he has to make 13 more. souL's stepping on the creep once again. The main thing is that the mutas are out now, so stakes are kind of higher for souL. He just has to boost away. Hopefully he's got reinforcements that can come forward and kind of save these guys. The concern does start to rise for souL though, and circling back to that point, yeah, Elazer, he died to a lot of pushes because he was committing to mutas in that previous game, or in a lot of other series. But we'll see if this is going to be an adjustment for the day for Elazer, or if he's if he's just kind of changing it up for this game, you know. souL having to retreat all the way back to his 4th base location, not that there's a 4th base at it. His Marines are actually doing pretty darn well against the Zerg Swarm. Both players about to finish up 2-2. For Elazer, though, that's got to be pretty darn good, pushing his opponent all the way. The concern for souL really mounts now that these mutas have some freedom to start harassing. They're going to be able to start going for SCVs and things. souL throws up a turret, but that's a little bit late. The massive, great souL wall of supply depots, 19 depots. Is that how many depots you need? That seems like a lot. I don't actually know as a Starcraft player how many depots you need. Elazer's gonna come in, maybe he'll kill souL's E-base, but joke's on him. souL has got a spare batch. Can we actually take a look at souL's hotkeys right now? I'm curious. Does he have his E-base hotkeyed? No, this overlay does not show it, sadly. I thought that there's a button to press to see that, but I'm actually trying to double check. Toggle clan tags, chat, entire UI, player introductions. No. Sadly, I can't remember what it is you have to press to be able to see a player's hotkeys on here. It is doable, I just can't remember what it is. Alright, so we've got 3-3 on the way for souL. He is actually putting his eggs in 2 different baskets with with these eBays once again. He's got a ton of barracks production. I mean, he's throwing up an 8th barracks there. He's got a 5th command center on the way. This game really is starting to slow down, and I actually dig it. I love the fact that we're having a longer game for game number 1. Building armor on the way, and Neo steel framing. Look at this, souL is so on it. This was the play all along. And he's actually just going single armory upgrades, but I love the fact that he's making use of those extra eBays. Like, Neosteel framing, when it comes to making your PFs hold against banelings, I think is decently significant. Because what a baneling does against buildings, in comes souL, by the way. Is it only 20 damage against the building? I feel like they do the full amount. Once again, for someone who watches so much Starcraft, you think I'd know that, but in reality, turns out that souL just didn't have his Neosteel framing done in time anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. Now, does it? In comes Elazer, lots of banelings rolling forward. At the same time, there's not going to be that much Zerg left over. That being said, as I say that, there's this big blob to the north, which is a lot of banelings. souL does have an extra command center he'll be able to plop down. He's even got another one going up, which is quite important. And a lot of Thors to boot. Look at this, souL with 3 Thors already. He's even getting double upgrades for him, so he's actually making use of his double here. And his double upgrades. So his Thors are gonna get gassed pretty quickly. Now let's take a look here. 4th base getting reestablished for souL. That was definitely a hiccup, but with Terran, as long as you kind of have that spare CC, you're generally doing pretty. souL's Marines hop from one bunker to another to stay alive. This random Thor on the high ground doing its thing. These Marines and Marauders doing what they can. Looks like this will be a solid hold by souL. Shuts down Elazer's attack, and there was a lot of banelings committed to that. That being said, at the same time for Elazer, I don't know if that's actually too bad. I mean, he's got a big economy. He can replace these units rather quickly. Look at that, 31 more banelings on the way, 3-3 on the way, getting up all the upgrades. Ultra Cavern. souL is trying to establish a 5th base. I don't think he's going to be there just yet. He does have his couple Thors alone, by the way, at his 3rd base, just having to try and respond to those mutas. The Thors actually just staying back at home is actually perfect to help deal with this. souL unloads them out of the medivacs. There's a couple turrets here. All the while, though, this big push is going on souL with even another Thor at the front, but everything's just getting deleted by the banelings. Horribly inefficient by Elazer, though, as the Marauders of souL actually split rather excellently, and now the mutas have to come back to try and clean this up. The mutas probably will be able to clean this up. I mean, they're 3-3 Marines, but they're actually just not going to be enough.
So Elazer does clean up pretty much everything. I don't think that was a good trade for him, though. Having to spend so much to clean that up, he loses a base. souL, I mean, has kept all of his Thor, or those 3 Thors alive, right? Still just going to be the Muta response team. I actually love this. The Muta response team by Thor. By souL. Not by Thor. Although I'm kind of surprised we never had a Starcraft player named Thor, to be honest. Marine's trying to respond to the Mutas. Muta's getting some good pickoffs. The 5th base is going up for souL. It's not quite done yet. We'll see if he's going to cancel and lift this in time. Does he cancel and lift? And he's going to let the PF fend for itself, but I'm not sure that's the right call, as it will just be surrounded and killed. That Neo Steel framing really does make a difference, though. All things considered, souL now moving forward with an attack. Top left going to be vulnerable. Elazer's base being dropped in the bottom right. This game is actually heating up. This is a spectacular Terran versus Zerg. This planetary gonna potentially go down, but I think it's gonna hold on. The Neo Steel framing has actually been huge for souL this game. Really an effective upgrade. We see this drop now down to the bottom here. Elazer has got his mutas alive still, but not all of them in position to deal with this, so souL trading out a good chunk of bio. Might even keep it alive, we shall see. Takes out the top left base, takes out this base once again. Elazer still mining down here, but taking a significant hit to his economy, all the while souL really does need to get up another base at some point soon, though, as he is going to be running broke. LaughNgamez going off, killing off a lot of Zerglings that belong to Elazer. I am starting to get concerned for souL, though. He really doesn't have a lot of potential to remax here. Muta's fighting Thors, and Elazer doesn't really lose much there. The Thors actually 4 kills between 3 Thors. Isn't that good? souL still got him alive, though. He kept him alive, that's what important. His Thor upgrades, his +2 armor, actually significant once again. His defensive upgrades doing work this game. LaughNgamez going off, souL using his mass minefield to apply pressure to this base for Elazer, and this is a really important base for Elazer. souL's economy is not that good over Elazer's. If this base goes down, he's going to be really in shambles as well, as I mean, he doesn't have a fresh base to his name either. And honestly, Terran can get by with that a little bit more. It's easier to get up a new base, as souL's doing right now. Marine's fighting the mutas. The Thor response squad comes on in. 3 Thors, absolutely lethal against mutas. That's going to push Elazer away. All of a sudden, the Zerg player's down on supply. He's got a decent bank, but he's not spending it yet. He spends it on 15 more mutas. Going to be going up to about 28, but that's not going to be here in time. Elazer maybe needed to spend that money a little bit sooner. He's got to fight with what he has now, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. souL microing these Thors incredibly well with the medivacs, getting max efficiency against these mutas. The muta count basically being dropped down to 0, at least until their reinforcements come. And then it's just a bunch of Marines for souL. So I don't know if Elazer needed to squeeze out an Ultra or 2 here beforehand, spend that money, but GG after a hard-fought game number 1. souL has the momentum swinging in his favor. What a game number 1 between those 2 players. What a game. I really enjoyed that map. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. If you're enjoying this stream, make sure to press that 1 up. Okay. We'll get everyone on into the lobby and do our next game on Beckett Industries. Just making sure our laser's ready. So right now, where we're at, souL needs to win 13 more maps. Elazer needs to win... I like how I ask if Elazer's ready. He just says, always. Yeah, Elazer needs to win another 16, 21. We'll see if he can do it. He's putting up a heck of a fight every single map, though. Now here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the top right, representing Ago XCOM. It's Elazer. And in the bottom left, Cascade's souL. I am really excited for WCS to return. And when I say WCS, you know what I mean. EPT. Yeah, like, both for Elazer and souL. I mean, Elazer is a guy, expectations around him are generally high, you think? But he hasn't posted huge results in a while. I don't think, anyway. Like, he kind of fell off a bit. I mean, he's definitely still a darn good player, but then he kind of got overshadowed by the other two main Zergs. And then of course, there's souL, who I feel expectations are building. Like, everyone's literally always said souL's this guy who ladders, who practices, but he does seem to be showing up a little bit more. He's posting pretty darn good results in online cups, that kind of thing. Maybe he's got over his nerves a little bit, partially, because I think he is a player who definitely was affected by nerves. Like, you can't even question that, I don't think. Like, his ladder performance versus his online performance and consistency and stuff does seem to be getting better. He'll still drop the odd map to random players here and there, but yeah. So, really, these two guys are just incredibly awesome pros. And here they are, practicing, earning a ton of cash. A good chunk of cash. You might be like, Elazer only made $140 yesterday. 140 US for a day's work. It's like 8 hours. That's pretty decent. And of course there's the Matcherino. And the main chunk of the money is going to go to whoever actually wins this thing. Or a good chunk, anyway. Reaper for souL. Showing his tenacity with that once again. Oof, oof. Flying so close to the sun. Pulls that away. Like, souL has not lost his Reapers. At all, really. They've been controlled excellently. Okay. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. I think it was advertised decently that this was going to be a two-day thing. All in all, this best of 69 was maybe a little bit more impromptu than one would think for a best of 69. souL, oh my gosh. Mitts on in with the Reaper and the Hellion. Gonna get into the main base. Micro against these Lings. I don't know what he's expecting to get here, but he is gonna get on these drones. We shall see. So far, not one. Drone turns against the Hellion. Actually gonna deal good damage to it. And yeah, it's all about these other two Hellions diving to the natural, and this could be where the damage is at. souL getting 5 drones. That's some mounting damage right there. Make that 7. Can he get any more? 8? 8 in all for 4 Hellions in the Reaper, I think at this stage of the game is pretty darn decent. Like, if that was in a minute or two, you'd say, ouch, that wasn't the best trade. You'd say that it was but seeing as how that was 4 minutes into the game and Elazer's worker count wasn't super high yet, you think it's pretty decent. We'll see if the Banshee's even able to add a kill or two in the next second. The laser spore not quite done. souL coming on in. Where's the cloak? There's the cloak. And this is definitely going to be a couple more dead drones. The laser showing us good micro with his drones, keeping them alive. Yeah, doing incredible work. Of course, it is resources lost, that happening, but look at that, Elazer saving those units. Does lose 4 more drones to the Banshee. Make that 5. A lot of softened up drones too, by the way. That could be significant in the future, but probably won't be, to be honest. I mean, drones heal up decently quick. Like, if an Ultra's using the natural Zerg regen, it takes years, but for drones, they get topped off rather quickly. I mean, souL's coming in with the Hellions, but we'll see how much damage it's going to get done. Looks like the answer is actually going to be a lot. Is this going to be another situation of Elazer loses? Yeah, 15, 20 drones to Hellions. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, Elazer. Yeah. That's no good. You know how I said that it wouldn't be too significant? That those drones were softened up? I really don't think it was. I think they'd have died anyway there. Because what, it's either 2 or 3 shots for a Hellion to kill a drone. And those drones were, I think, still... I don't know how many shots. 2 shots? Maybe 3 shots? Eh. But yeah, Elazer is horribly behind on workers here. And... yeah. He is dead, I want to say. If he can bring this game back, I will eat my hat. Yes, I'm gonna say it. Unless souL makes a serious bungle. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Like, yesterday we saw souL get into leads a lot, and he did not do anything radical. He just kept a cool head on his shoulders. Like, he literally just played it safe, got up his expos, waited, went for his push. And I think the way the math works out here is that Elazer, who's going for mutas, is not going to be able to make mutas and hold on against souL's push. Like, the math literally doesn't check out. The Baneling nest just finished up. Elazer's firing up 20 lings. He's got decent creep spread. But it's going to be like 1 scan, then souL will be at the 3rd base. Elazer's got 8 Banes on the way. Yeah, this ain't going to be easy here. The Terran player is without combat shield for a second, but 10 seconds in he'll have combat shield, then he's going to have 1-1 shortly behind that. And tanks and everything, no Baneling speed for Elazer, not for 60 seconds is going to make this real rough. He's going to try and hold the Queen's coming on in. A decent Ling wraparound, but yeah, souL just micros back against this. The Banshee's still doing work. The Zerg army is just melting, and yeah, Elazer is Crocodile Dundee's here as, yeah, these Marines cutting through the Queens. GG. souL adds another one. Every map, keep in mind here, ladies and gentlemen, is worth $10 for the players. So even if things are looking kind of dire for Elazer, I expect him to fight to the end. He's behind 9 maps. Can you make up for it? It's not going to be easy. Unless something happens, just based off the projections. Okay. souL says go go. Elazer is always ready. Okay, here we are into the next game. It's souL taking on Elazer in the bottom left-hand side of the map. Representing Cascade. Representing them darn well, I'll say. And in the bottom right, it's Elazer. I honestly think Elazer has got a hole in his play.
when it comes to dealing with the Hellion Banshee harassment. Like, I want to see a replay now of souL versus souL, souL doing the same thing. And then what the game looks like when a player takes 0 damage to it. Like, maybe it's partially because of it is new maps and it takes longer for defensive play to adjust. But yeah, Elazer's gonna have to figure this one out, I think. Because he's incredibly good at the game. Like, his muted control and everything is really shining. But then it's like, you're just behind all the time. Because souL just has this solid opening. And maybe it is up to Elazer to try and walk that line, you know, in which case maybe he does need to, even by a margin, play a bit safer. Maybe make an extra pair or two of lings, that kind of thing, to deal with the Hellions. I don't know. But what he's doing right now, making 20 or losing 20 drones, that ain't it. That ain't on. SCV Scout moving out for souL, by the way. I love how souL still does this, even though... Oh, wait a sec. What? Oh, okay, checking for the proxy. Okay, that's actually an adjustment that I love. I really love the fact that souL checked for that. Because I was just about to go on this big spiel about how souL was SCV scouting and has been SCV scouting consistently, even though Elazer literally never early pools. But then there he actually just made an adjustment to be like, yeah, Elazer literally never early pools, but he does proxy hatch. So souL checked for it. And that was one of the few times that souL was caught off guard with a kind of gotcha. With a gotcha moment, when those Roaches and Ravagers showed up that one game. Probably going to be a third CC from souL, or yeah, not going to be a 2-1-1, obviously, as it's a 1-1-1. So yeah, probably a third CC play from souL. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And honestly, souL doing the same thing is probably the best possible practice that Elazer could get. Like, at some point you gotta think Elazer's gonna get better and better at defending against those kind of Hellion pokes. Because, like, it's not normal. It's not normal for a Zerg to take this much damage consistently from Hellions. Like, souL's incredibly quick with his Hellions, he's incredibly slick with them, but at the same time, like, I think it is possible to take less damage than Elazer's been taking. This is really why we need a Zerg to weigh in on this. Viking on the way for souL. I think that's like the second time this series we've seen a Viking. I love it though. Change it up, make Elazer think, what are you doing? And you know how I said it was going to be a third CC? I was wrong. I'm a fool. It's a 2 base. If you're Elazer, are you going to be in trouble by this 2-base play? I mean, I don't think so. He's got a Baneling Nest on the way already. He's already got good creep spread going. As long as he doesn't lose like a tumor or two to these couple of Hellions that souL made. souL's Vikings moving around looking for tasty overlords. Not going to find any though. Elazer pulled them all home. I do find it curious how souL is actually keeping his other 2 Hellions across the map. Pulls them home now. Or pulls them to the front. Marine production's going hard for souL. We'll see if Elazer's going to be too greedy against this. I mean, Elazer hasn't scouted due to the Viking, obviously. He's sending out a Ling across the map now. You go up the ramp with the Ling, you see the 1 eBay, you
you have to assume that it's the 2 base aggression. It's the Zerg, right? Yeah, like, you see the few Marines. But then the 1 eBay, that's a dead giveaway, right? Lazer's making more drones, but he's gonna have to start making units soon. He's got a few Banelings. He's gonna need more, though. More muscle, more fodder. Get his queens consolidated to deal with this push when it happens. The Viking's still alive. This one Overlord kind of boldly moved over here. Hellion's moving forward. The creep push out has been delayed by souL. This is actually pretty huge, I'll say. The fact that there wasn't an additional line or 2 attumers. I'm not sure how many souL was able to kill off. Just the 1. But maybe he delayed Elazer's spread a little bit, and there we have it. The Marine's stimming on in. Elazer losing his queens just like that. Off creep. He's got, more coming to the front, but losing a significant chunk of the mass already. He's got a good number of lings. He's got 3 more queens on the way. Elazer should be fine against this, I think. And really, as long as he holds on decently, he will be fine. Because this is a 2 base play from souL. Third on the way just now. Elazer engaging with his lings. Is there going to be friendly tank fire? The answer is not enough. It looks like, oh, the lings are all just being cut up. What a disaster for Elazer here. Honestly, those lings did not do much based off how many there was. It felt like the lings should have been able to do more. Queen's engaging the tanks actually gets 1 of them. That's pretty decent. There's a lot more Banelings on the way. The problem is Baneling speed seems to be years out. Queen's moving forward. Transfuse is not going down. A couple of them being picked off. Here comes the Bane. souL really just needs to micro against this, and he is doing that decently enough. His bio is pretty darn stimmed, but there's just nothing left for Elazer. GG. souL takes the 3rd map in a row in a pretty decent time, I'll say. 24 and 14. Elazer getting bashed a little bit. Just that defense not looking super crisp. Yeah. souL's a killer. He's a straight killer. And the fact that he practices with souL, I think, is showing here. Looks like we haven't got the pop-up for being a selected broadcast, but... yeah, anyway, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. If you are, use that Matcherino code, BO69. It's been a very nice broadcast. Okay, and now here we go. Into the next game. It's on Jugannatha. In the top right, it's Peter. And in the bottom left, I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm like 99% sure Elazer's name is Mihal? I have no idea how to pronounce it. But yeah, both these guys, two Polish badasses. That's one of the cool things about the Polish Starcraft 2 scene. It's got so much depth to it, but then it really does have the big 3, you know? You got souL, you got Elazer, you got Mana. One great player for each race. As far as the Polish scene goes, I mean, there was kind of like the big 4 for a while with Nurchio,
Nurchio's obviously retired. Yeah. And so then it kind of fell back to the big three, who honestly are incredibly close opponents. Like, another cool match to do would be to have, like, souL, Mana, Elazer. To do, like, a round robin kind of thing. Would be cool to do, like, another Poland versus France kind of thing. Let me pull that up. I should, you know, I think we're gonna aim for that. Another Poland versus France match? Yeah, that'd be darn cool. Reaper comes in for souL. I literally don't think he's made a mistake with the Reaper this entire series. And that's absurd. That's absurd. Because, like, even as a player, you've got to be a little absent-minded at times. But then souL has shown that he's never makes a mistake with the Reaper, it looks like. I'm probably going to jinx him here. But, yeah, it's like that's always an active part of souL's play. He's just got it down so that he never puts his Reaper in a position that if he is absent-minded, he's gonna lose it, right? What do you guys think, though? Poland versus France? Do another one of those? That would be pretty neat. I mean... yeah, I think so. Like, Elazer... assuming they all want to play, like, Elazer, Mana, Clem. Or, pardon me, Elazer, Mana, souL. Against, like... Clem... or... oh my god. Oh. souL, Elazer, Mana, taking on, like, Clem, Petit Drogo... Who's top of France right now? Obviously Clem. Denver? Maybe? Denver's pretty good. Then there's a bit of a rivalry, souL versus Denver. I think that'd be sweet. souL, Drogo, Denver. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting someone on the France side? Anyway, Elazer's got a rather early 4th base again, and this has kinda screwed him over in the past. But I mean, I think it's a fine choice on this map. souL is going for a 3rd CC already, but then Elazer's countering it with his own greed. And it's not like souL's got a Hellbat attack coming in or anything. So Elazer going for his 4th base is actually a really good thing. He's got 18 Lings on the way to help deal with a Hellion attack, which souL could very well go for soon. The creep killing by souL has been really impressive so far. Banshee hitting that 3rd base, these 2 queens by themselves. Run away, ladies. souL's really trying to get this 4th base. If he does, that's a darn good play by him. We'll see. It's got to be close to going down, but then the queens are gonna have transfuse. I think we need to see Elazer dump a transfuse into this, because the Banshee, she's coming back. 2nd Banshee coming on in. Transfuse? 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 Okay, transfuse. Elazer with a nice counterattack, hitting the wall of souL, but it is the wall of souL. Banshee's doing some work, but
souL loses one. Queen's working away on this other one. Not enough detection to kill this Banshee though, but getting her is pretty nice. Leaves souL with just the one. Elazer is on 4 bases. He kept this secure. I would love to see him transfuse this again. Elazer being very active with his queens. He's had a pretty solid defense, right? He had a nice little counterattack that went off too, pulled souL's attention away, bought himself some respite, as long as his creep spread's going strong. Elazer does have these tumors that he's not spreading. There we go. I know I'm being very nitpicky. But at the same time, like, it is souL who's been coming out ahead, so naturally you start looking at things that Elazer needs to be doing. Like always having these tumors spreading. Of course there's a time not to spread the tumors, because then they get picked off. Yeah. Elazer keeping his creep going though, really darn important. He's going. He's going. Of course he's doing a million other things, macroing and everything. He's got the Lings and Banes. He's moving out on the map. This could be a nice counterattack he's got set up. He's actually going to run into the army of souL. I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing. I'm going to say a bad thing for Elazer. He's got all of his Lings coming, really forcing chaos on souL's side, but the Banes never really found a big clump of Marines. However, at the same time, he does take the fight away from souL. Elazer's got a good amount of resources, spends them on Banelings. He's got that hive on the way. Keep in mind, he never made a Spire. He is playing Hydraling Bane here on Juggernaut. I like that choice. Not a lot of dead space on this map for mutas to really use. We have a Banshee comes in towards this base. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, transfuse it. Oh, I'm so worried about this base. Okay, there's a transfuse. Live, I say live. souL with a slight upgrade lead this game. Elazer though, pretty soon gonna have lurkers, I think. So that's good for him. I don't see souL going for a kill move anytime soon. He's doing a good job cleaning up the creep. If Elazer can push that out, that would be good for him. This dropping attempt by souL. The Queen's gonna almost get one of the medivacs. Not quite, however. Elazer attempting to get up a 5th base. souL stepping on the creep. Stimming forward. Elazer gonna move forward with these units. souL goes off creep, but really he gets pushed away. Reinforcements by souL being caught. That's actually pretty darn decent for him. I mean, there's this drop to the top right. Elazer seems to be managing his forces pretty darn well. These Queens, they are on an adventure. But yeah, Elazer pushing back souL. Really nicely done. This drop here is going to come on in, but of course there's this Ling Bane, which should be able to push it away. And he does so successfully. Elazer with a huge force. I mean, I almost want to say Elazer... No, he can't. There's too many Marines for souL. I was going to say maybe he could get aggressive against souL here. souL's army is a little too big, though. So Elazer probably just going to want to try and get into those lurkers. And he does have Hydras on the way. 5th base on the way, who knows? Maybe he'll start a 6th soon. souL's supplies looking pretty darn decent, but Elazer has had a good amount of breathing room this game. He's done a really good job splitting up his forces, dealing with souL's individual attacks. Moving forward, yeah, a little ambitious. souL's just got too much firepower to engage off of creep right now. Like, you can't really engage a Terran with 70 Marines off of creep. He'll just split, and then you'll fall to pieces. However, counterattacks definitely can be on the menu. And this is exactly what we're seeing from Elazer. He's actually trying to set up a huge surround off creep. This is real ambitious, but he's going for it. souL forced to lift off. Really nicely done by Elazer. souL's got a drop moving down towards the bottom left. We'll see if Elazer's going to be able to respond to this. So he's really committed out on the map, and this is where I'm getting a little bit concerned. There's this big drop down to the bottom right. Where are the Queens? There is Queens. One Medivac does get picked off, full of units. There's the drop in the bottom left, though. Elazer having to respond. He's splitting his forces. All the while, he's also got a big Baneling counterattack setup. If Elazer manages his forces right here, it's going to be really impressive. He does lose the Lurker Den, however, so say goodbye to that potential. The drop in the bottom right having no success. Too much of an army here by Elazer, and of course, while this is going on, he killed 23 SCVs with the Banelings. That is huge. This drop in the bottom left does get cleaned up, and I think Elazer comes out ahead here. Although this force that was here to deal with this drop in the bottom right does get cleaned up. Queens can maybe save this hatchery if Elazer dumps transfuse into it. Transfuse? No transfuse. A little bit sad there for Elazer losing that base. He's still on 5, but it is important to kind of have that spare going. Elazer also lost his Lurker Den and his spawning pool. I didn't realize the spawning pool went down as well, so Elazer's just going to have to spend his money on Hydras and Banelings for the time being. That's not terrible. He's actually going off creep, engaging into the Terran once again. That seems a little bit ambitious. Spending units I don't think he can really afford to replace right now because he literally can't. His spawning pool is rebuilding as we speak. There we go. It finishes up. He's able to make his units, but yeah, this has been a string of bad trades here for Elazer. He's going off of creep now. Does get some beautiful Baneling connections, however. Those Baneling connections really made that fight. Gets a couple tanks on the way out too. Elazer, he did rebuild his Lurker Den, so he's got Adaptive Talons on the way. I mean, he's fighting, trying to get up his 6th base. He does have a couple of Vipers as well. Yeah, can he save that base though? The answer is going to be not really. Loses it actually. Never attempted to expand to the left either, so at some point he is going to need something else. Lurker's just going to burrow right away, push that army away. The Viper's kind of being ignored here as well. Elazer could maybe take a fight. I mean, he's got the Lurkers. Once he has Adaptive Talons, I think he'll definitely be able to do that sort of charge forward thing. There we go. I was about to say the Vipers. Really a key tool. Cleans up the tank, cleans up the Terran force. And souL does not have a ton back at home. I mean, his economy took a pretty big hit with those Banelings. He is a 4-basing Terran, yes, but his macro does seem to have stalled out a little bit. Okay, Elazer with more Lurkers coming out. He's at 180 supply to a Terran that's at 140. That's pretty darn good. The wall for souL isn't even up at his 3rd base anymore. A Liberator harassment moving towards the bottom right. That's real nice by souL. He's also going for a drop just on the creep. souL is absolutely mad. He's going to pick off one of the Vipers. Parasitic Bomb hitting the Medivacs, however, going to be a threat. Lurker's going to burrow right on top of this, though. The Medivac's probably not going to get these Marines out of here. souL losing a lot of units. Liberator harassment in the bottom right is effective. Elazer's securing up this space here. At some point, he's got to try and take this base. Pushes creep out further and such, but I really am liking Elazer's position in this game. The numbers don't lie. Baneling's now going to be rolling on in here. Just going to be abolishing what's left of the 3rd of souL. Can they even kill the command center? Yes, they can. Oh, that's beautiful by Elazer. It's good to see him having such a dominant game. He's definitely been working hard for it, but had a commanding lead, and I really don't see him losing this game at this point. Ling's getting on top of what force remains for souL. souL's going to be running out of steam, and GG gets called. Elazer not going down without a fight. Breaks souL's 3-map winning streak. Nice. Nicely done, Elazer. Low FPS, you say? Looks like we did drop a few frames, but we're not anymore. Looks like these guys are ready. I do hope we get another Nation Wars soon. That would be cool. Okay. Here we have it, in the bottom right-hand side of the map, representing Team Cascade. It's souL. And in the top left, it is Elazer. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. Make sure to let your friends know that this Best of 69 is continuing on. Retweets and such. Who doesn't love cold coffee? Maybe FPS is dropping again a bit, huh? Yeah. A little bit of FPS drop. That's no good. If that continues, I'll look into it. Do what I can, which is generally pretty limited. If the internet pipe gods decide it's not your day, sometimes it's just, you know, not your day, but we're doing good so far. Ever since getting fiber, life has been a lot better. Couple of Queenie Bobinis on the way. Third base for Elazer. souL SCV scouts. In a series against Elazer, like a best of 5 or something, I think cutting the SCV scout would be okay. Either that or Elazer is just this big brain player who's like, I never 16 pool ever. That way when I play in a tournament, I know someone's gonna cut that corner against me, and I don't know if he's done that. Oh my god, souL with the Reaper, by the way, you monster. Quit tugging at my Reaper heartstrings. Okay, we see a starport on the way. Third CC for souL. So it's one of those macro games again. Elazer did a really good job not taking damage. He got up a quick 4th base. If he can do that again, it would be huge. And then just play a strong macro game, because it's not like Elazer needs to fear what souL does in the mid to late game, because it's not like he's been getting wrecked by ghosts or liberators or things like that all the time. Oh, souL does lose his Reaper there. Does that count as a bungle? Maybe a little bit. I think that's probably the worst Reaper play we've seen from souL all series. Elazer gets up his 4th base. Cool to see. Ah, okay, we are dropping some FPS. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Yes. I do see that the stream's having some lag. I will look into it after this game. Maybe restart, switch servers kind of thing. Okay. Ling's trying to deal with the Hellions that come on in. Elazer did a good drone split, but maybe he needed to try and pull away. He's only lost 4 drones so far. Queen's cleaning up most of the Hellions. Only 5 drones. Deals with that harassment pretty darn well. Okay, now let's take a look here. Couple evos on the way for Elazer. He shut down that harassment. The evos starting up kind of just now will put him at a bit of an upgrade disadvantage later on, but the way he shut down souL's harassment was quite good. And even though souL's got up a fast third, I think Elazer's in quite a decent spot. Losing that Overlord does suck. But wow, Elazer feeling really confident here. Going up to a 5th base. The fact that he's going up to a 5th base now makes me think he is just going to play a Ling Bane style. I say Ling Bane style. Where's actually his Baning nest? There it is. A few Banes on the way. Spreading the creep. Yeah. And I think that's a fair style. Like, assuming Elazer just lays on the constant production, should be fine. Lots of Lings on the way. It might be a bit rough when souL's got 1-1 and Elazer's got 0-0. But, ooh, look at this. Cute play by Elazer. Just gonna dive on top of this army. The Banes do get sniped down by souL. Beautifully done by souL. But then good surround by Elazer. Getting the momentum. Gonna pursue this drop. Gets the wraparound. Keeping souL on his toes. Not giving him an inch. Terran 1-1 is about to finish up now. Zerg's is about 30 seconds off. 30, 40 seconds off. Okay. Let's take a look here. Queen's Lings pushing away the drop of souL once again. Elazer's going to be feeling a lot more confident as soon as his 1-1 finishes up. But then he will have to deal with this push from souL. Lots of Marines, tanks. This is Lightshade. Elazer's got a big surround getting set up, or is it going to be a big counterattack? It looks like it's going to be a counterattack. Those Lings not going to make it happen though. There's a good chunk of Banelings, but the tank positioning and everything from souL really is problematic here for Elazer. I don't know how he's going to take an engagement into this. Naturally, the surround is the idea. He's just going to pull the trigger and go for it. The Lings from the rear are not sure are going to be up to the task. He does just have a lot, though. He's getting on top of the Marines. The tank's not being taken out is a little bit problematic, but there we go. They do go down. Banelings connect with a Marine or two, and I think Elazer just had a reasonable hold. He's got 42 more Lings on the way. If he can sneak out some Banelings too, that would be good. Otherwise, I think his production should save him here. It's going to be tight, and he is floating a decent chunk of money. If he could turn all of his money into units now, I'd say he'd be fine, but souL is actually getting on top of the Queens here. Those Banelings not quite finished up. Here's the Lings for Elazer coming forward. No, focusing on the reinforcements. Banelings do finish up, not getting huge connections on the Marines, and souL is looking pretty strong right now. His bio is kind of stimmed, though. Can Elazer's production keep up with this? It's going to be so close. More and more Lings coming forward. The tank is going to go down. How's souL's reinforcements? Looks like decent. Elazer is so low on units. souL's pushing as far as he can, as hard as he can. Elazer snipes down a medivac, but there's souL off creep, now dancing with these Marines. Gonna just be taking better and better trades against the Zerg, and in about 15 seconds, souL's gonna have his 2-2 completed, whereas Elazer won't. The Zerg just not getting a chance.
to consolidate forces, to spend all of his money. Oh, Elazer just a little bit too behind on production, it would seem like. He's got a huge amount of money, just he hasn't been able to spend it with a second of respite here. And yeah, souL just taking a perfect trade at the end there. GG gets called. It was real close there, but souL's able to take it. Okay guys, so I'm gonna throw to a quick break while trying to sort out these stream issues. We'll be back in a few. Okay, so we swapped server again, swapped a couple servers. We're gonna just give it a go, and hopefully it'll be better. Streaming is a funny thing, but if we ever do have downtime, the best thing you can do is check out the Matcherino, use coupon code 69. And we're off. And I think things do seem to be better. souL was just asking 10 more wins for me, right? And the answer to that is yes. So, in the bottom left, this man needs 10 more wins. It's souL. And in the top right, it's Elazer. Good that things seem to be better.
Okay, nothing out of the ordinary here. I think we're on game number 5 of today, I want to say. And we haven't had a crazy cheese or anything. Or no, are we on game 5? I feel like we should be on game 6. It's tough to say.
Game paused.
Ruh-roh. Elazer. Pause at the soul, seemingly not ready to unpause.
Game resumed.
It's kind of funny how it's like, they're going. Suddenly Elazer pauses. And then Soul's like, this is my chance! This is my chance to do something! You know? Oh, the Reaper almost gets that drone. That was sneaky. Of course, this drone may never get to live up its dream of turning into a hatchery. Elazer gonna run his lings across the map in response to this. Maybe be able to get an SCV or two. The Reaper abandons the attempt on getting that drone, thinking that Elazer may be expanded elsewhere. In reality, Elazer didn't. That's some 4D chess right there. In comes these lings. Soul has to get behind the wall. The lings will turn around, but then so has the Reaper, so these lings probably going to be forfeit, right? Yeah, I think Elazer is just going to have these lings kited to death. Maybe he'll do that fan thing, which you run a ling every which direction and hope one makes it. Like, kind of like Storm Area 51, the Reaper can't stop all of us, so... This one ling gonna make it home. Tell the tale and be like, yep, Soul had a Marine. Soul had a Marine, Soul had a Reaper, as per usual. Yes, a best of 69 caster muse. Okay, Soul going for a battle cruiser. And a second starport, so he's going big or going home. Not really going home. I mean, he's got a solid 10 map lead, but he's going big. And this is just one of those things as a Zerg, I think, in which you must really hate life. Cause like, Zergs know how to deal with this, but then at the same time, it's not on your mind to deal with a battlecruiser rush every game these days. It's like, yeah, the Viking killed my overlord, so Soul could really be going for anything, so I'll try and prepare for everything, like, but he's probably just doing like that, like, you know, Hellion 3cc stuff again. In reality, Soul's just going, battlecruiser, go brr. And Elazer's just gonna be like, well, guess I'll die then. I don't know if Soul's going to reveal this hand or just keep building up BCs till he gets scouted. Either is a possibility. Nope, he teleports it in.
That's actually something that's really interesting. I wonder if it would have been better for souL to wait till he had like 3 BCs and then gone. I mean, he's doing phenomenally against these queens. But maybe it would have been better, you know? This battle cruiser taking a lot of shots, but should get out fine. Because, like, Elazer was just making queens, he was playing generically, he wasn't scouting or anything, so he had no idea that this was coming. He was literally playing blind. And he's still got no idea that there's going to be a second and third battle cruiser. Oh, the mule was dropped to repair this guy. That's cute. souL's presumably going to teleport in his other 2 BCs soon, and that's going to be bad news for Elazer. Seeing as how Yamato Cannon's done, this other BC being repaired up, that's going to make it... Oh, souL really wants this extra BC done. He just dropped 500 plus minerals worth of mules to repair this battle cruiser. But yeah, it's literally going to be 3 battle cruisers. There's the teleport. Where they go? Into the main. Elazer's like, ruh-roh. I hate Terrans. souL comes in with the 3rd BC that was being healed up a good amount. There's the Yamato Cannon being dumped. The Spine, or the Spire, pardon me, is vulnerable. The Queens are just being cut down by the BCs. First it's all the Queens, now it's going to be the Spire, and I think Elazer is honestly just a dead nerd. This is so brutal by souL. Really it does come down to Elazer not scouting though. Like, you play blind, you're gonna lose your Spire, you're gonna lose your spawning pool. souL drops a mule to repair his BC. May as well be a Manor Mule though, because the Elazer is dead. Yeah, like Elazer, he can't make queens. He can't make spores after losing his pool. What do? Aside from die. Like, yeah, souL's only just finishing up his 3rd base, but the Lair's gonna die, man. Elazer, does he just, like, float money? I mean, he does have a good number of queens, but it's 3 battle cruisers. 3 battle cruisers are really good, guys. And there's the 4th. There's the 5th. Oh, Elazer must be so sad right now. He's staying in it. There's the Spire. Oh, does the Spire die? There's the GG. Okay. Oh man, poor Elazer. Poor Elazer. As souL puts another one on the board. Really just running away with it at this point. Yeah, Elazer didn't scout that, you know? I feel like it's that thing, you know, the Terran goes for the Viking, and you don't see anything indicative of what he's doing. You have to scout. Somehow. Elazer in replay looking at that game. Like, what the heck was that? Okay. Both players are ready, and away we go. Okay. In the top left-hand side of the map, oh, Romanticide, it's souL. And he's moving out with an SCV. In the bottom right, it's Elazer. Just getting abused, sadly. souL goes for two starports in the last game. Now he's going for 2 barracks in this one. Interesting choice. I think he proxied a lot on it was Jagannatha. He proxied like 3 times yesterday. Now he's doing it on Romanticide. I wonder if it's just the maps that he doesn't want to do it on, like this one and Jagannatha, or what? Doesn't want to do it, I mean doesn't want to play like full distance. But there we go. 3 SCVs gonna be building 3 barracks. And if you're Elazer, you're just having a bad day. Because he's not scouting this. He's got no idea. Completely blind. Doesn't even seem to be concerned about the possibility of a proxy on this map. He's gonna be made to be concerned soon. Come on, Elazer. Bring it back, man. You can do it. souL has won... how many maps today? Let's see. souL has won 4 maps today. 5 maps. And it looks like he's about to win a 6th. Whereas Elazer has won only 1. And yeah, it's 3 racks marine production. Not scouting this is brutal. A spine's gonna start, but no way. No way is souL gonna be stopped here. The marines were working on the overlord, now they're gonna have to work on the drones. The lings do pop out. But I mean, it's 3 marine production. Like, the 3 marine production is huge. If he gets all the SCVs and denies the bunkers, maybe there's a chance. Drones have to be pulled here. Mineral walking them would be good through it, but look at that. Bunker's up. Elazer is dead, I'm pretty sure, right? Spine's being targeted down before it finishes. He's gonna try and save it. The full steps forward to finish it off. Doesn't want it to be possibly transfused. Yeah. That's about it. GG. Unscouted proxy 3 racks. I mean, we've seen Zergs hold like unscouted proxy 2 racks, but I feel like scouting or defending an unscouted proxy 3 racks is basically impossible. I want to say. Makes you wonder if Elazer's spirit has just broken here. Like, the first game of the day was incredible. It was super close. But then it was just... yeah. Just souL killing him. Looking in the background, looks like the sun is coming up. It's getting sunny in here. Both players ready, and off we go. Okay. In the top right-hand side of the map, it is souL. And in the bottom left, it's Elazer. The first game on here was really good. Elazer got his win on Jagannatha. The larger maps are good for the Zerg. Hopefully he can bring it back in this one. Hopefully indeed.
Okay. Not much going on there. Cool bridge on this map. Beautiful bridge, actually. That's some darn good aesthetic. Starcraft's a 11-year-old game at this point, guys, and it does still look beautiful. Then again, seeing as how Starcraft's one of the only games I play, my point of reference maybe is not that. That is the dream, though, that eventually we'd get StarCraft 3 and, you know, have like a nice updated engine that optimizes multiple cores, and then we can just have insane graphics, like big maps, that kind of stuff. I think that is one of the things about RTS that I'd really love to see. I mean, RTSs, like, they were designed based off the technology that existed, and that kind of set the format for RTS, which was maps limited by PC power. But now we have PCs that are absurdly powerful, right? So you could, in theory, design StarCraft on a scale that's basically like a factor of 10 larger, because that's how far PCs have come in like the past 10 years. And by that logic, you could have maps which are 5 times as big, much higher supply caps, that kind of thing. And you could, in theory, redesign RTS. Do it on a huge scale. Because the StarCraft 2 engine is incredibly well designed. And then bringing something like that with similar optimization, but then with today's technology. Oh man. souL trying to get that creep tumor, utilizing the rocks. Yeah, there is FPS drops for some people. I haven't experienced an FPS drop in ages. I've got a pretty decent CPU, and that's StarCraft running off literally just one core. Keep in mind the StarCraft 2 engine, as far like it's incredibly well done based on the current technology that they had, but it could be a lot better, and Elazer could just be dead here. Marauders that do have concussive shell, tagging queens. Elazer up against a bunch of Hellbats. Marauders did not really scout that this was coming. He almost gets the Medivac. Getting that would be huge. Can he get it? The answer is not yet. Target that down, maybe? He's actually doing pretty good against the Hellbats. Gets the Medivac. We can perhaps target that injured Hellbat, get out another round of Lings. There's only 4 Hellbats left. The Viking Marauders are a big threat. All the queens are dead, though. That's the problem, even if the Zerg hangs on. Yeah, a pretty big attack. I mean, Elazer's on 60 drones. If he can hold on, there is recovery potential. Hellion's getting into the natural base. That's where the concern is. Banelings are morphing. 12 Banelings. The problem is it's going to take a long time for those to finish up, so these drones are kind of just running away. The third base needs to be safe. There's literally no question about it. Queen just pulling part of the army away from this for a time. Where's them Banes? There's them Banes. Going to be moving forward. Banshee shows up. That's problematic. The Banelings don't actually get like any good connections. Kind of makes you wonder if Lings would have actually been better. The army has almost been cleaned up, though. The Hellbat's going down. It's just the one Marauder, the Banshee, the Queen Corps floating up. Oh my god, look at that. Elazer held on, though, with minimal drone losses. His Queen count was basically reset. souL, though, I mean, definitely delayed his macro up by that, so I think Elazer could be fine here. By god, the man stayed alive against that kind of odd attack. Yeah, anyway, circling back to that, Michael, it's like the StarCraft 2 engine, back in the days, like, yeah, you'd get a ton of lag, because StarCraft 2 really was pushing it, as far as PC power goes. And then at some point, PCs got a lot better, but StarCraft 2 in no way utilizes, like, all that power, because, like, if it did, you could do so much more. If it utilized all CPU cores and that kind of thing. So much more could be done. I think Elazer saw these Hellions. He's repositioning his Lings, getting his Queens to the front. souL's actually just going to YOLO on in. Good Ling positioning by Elazer. Going to get a few of the Hellions to start. Repel them. Nicely done. The 4 Hellions are going to try and dive towards the third base. Lings respond though, and I mean, this is a good shutdown by Elazer, so he held the attack. He's going to kill all the Hellions, and souL is still only on 2 bases at the 8-minute mark. The Terran is starting to expand as far as macro goes. I mean, souL already up to 8 racks. Just getting all these up is a big deal. The Banshee's doing work, harassing. Elazer's making a boatload of roaches, though. And this makes you wonder, is he going to go for a push, or is this just defensive roaches? The revelation of the 2 Banshees makes you think that, like, okay, can you really push without the Queens? Because 2 Banshees are no joke, but then again, if souL oversteps, loses his Banshees, then, of course, it becomes a possibility that,
Game paused.
Lasers cam locked, apparently. That's quite bizarre. Huh. Something that could have happened is that he could have had a stuck hotkey. Or a stuck keyboard key. I've experienced that, in which basically, like, say it holds down space or something, or it holds down a hotkey. And so, like, you're trying to press something else, but it literally just instantly brings you back. Elazer's good though, but he's going for this attack against souL. Queens are coming, so it's going to be a huge attack towards the third base. The Terran's forced to abandon his third, which is huge already, as Elazer is a 4-base Zerg. And damage is going to be getting done here, make no mistake about that. The Banshees show up, Crosabile going to blanket the command center. He's going to fall back to his Queens, transfusing the Ravagers. This is really going to delay the push, but honestly, souL being kept on 2 bases is huge. It's huge. Particularly if Elazer takes a fight before combat shield's done. The lack of combat shield is a big deal. Crosabile hitting the Marines. The Overseer gets taken care of, souL hoping that the Banshees could make something happen, but the Banshees are already dead. The tanks are getting some great shots off. SCVs have to be pulled into this. Even so, like, I think Elazer's in a pretty great spot. Killing 7 SCVs, 9 SCVs, Crosabile getting a lot more. Elazer is committed to this, but as long as he trades out okay, I think he's in a phenomenal position. 17 dead SCVs. souL is in a lot of trouble here, particularly if Elazer just comes in with a round 2. Crosabile's going to hit that command center. Most of them missed, though. souL wants to step out. He's going to re-siege his tanks. Elazer's just going to move on in. Can he get Crosabile on those concept tanks? Looks like the answer is yes. 2 of them go down. Yeah, souL's done. Elazer gets one. Nicely done, Elazer. Beautiful play. Despite that odd camera lockup. But yeah, that was a great hold by Elazer. Beautiful, beautiful hold. And it's exciting to see Elazer fighting back. I mean, souL only needs to win 8 more games. But, I mean, say Elazer wins another 8. That's another $80 in his pocket. And we can't even write him off. I mean, realistically, saying he's going to come back from an 11-map deficit. when souL's so clearly been leading would be a big turnaround. And that's the thing, like winning in a best of 69, the logistics of coming back are pretty huge. Elazer says dry. I wonder if he does that intentionally. souL says it's pretty cold here. Huh. Big thanks to whoever's updating the Wikipedia. The fact that we can click on the maps played and see that, for example, 2000 atmospheres has gone to Elazer the most is cool. It's real cool. And that's definitely going to be something worth looking at after this. souL's going to CC first it. I was like, why is that SCV going back? That's literally the only explanation. Cool change up by the Terran. Let's actually take a look. We can kind of already use statistics. Beckett Industries. Gone to Elazer, I think souL, Elazer. Yeah, generally Beckett Industries has gone to Elazer. So, but that's like a 4-2 kind of thing, I think. So, souL has one on it. Okay, let's see. Elazer just doing usual stuff, so souL's gonna get away with this economic lead.
Game paused.
souL calls for a pause play. Maybe he needs to put on a sweater. You never know. And we're off, back to the races. souL gets out the Reaper, even behind the expand. That's the Reaper just chilling at home, but then, yeah, chills at home, I guess. The basis of this is that if it was a pool first, the Lings would be showing up, like now. And so you keep the Reaper at home. He'll probably move out with that in a second, once he passes that timing. Of course, this also keeps the Elazer not in the dark, because the Elazer did scout the CC. Got the confirmation. There's the third on the way for souL. Is this a situation which Zerg could potentially get aggressive? Like, it's the third CC, it's souL. You could generally expect that after a CC first. Maybe this is where you'd want to put a hurtin' on the Terran. And
Like, is there a way that Zerg could do that? I know obviously that, like, someone like Bly could. Bly always makes aggression work. The Reaper looking for damage, but like, say Elazer had thrown up a Roach Warren now and just gone for it. souL's not really scouting that. I mean, he saw the one drone. But yeah, maybe this would have been time for Elazer to try and be aggressive. Obviously that window's now passed with the Banshee almost finishing up. But that's just food for thought. Makes me wonder. I, of course, am omniscient in this case, so it's easy to say. Because for all Elazer knows, I suppose, that souL could be following it up with like 2 racks or whatever. 2-3 racks, but then, I mean, wouldn't Roaches still be decent against that? And souL's gone Hellions like all the time. So yeah, say Elazer had thrown down a Roach Warren and laid on the Roach key a little bit. Like, sent 8 Roaches across the map. That would have been pretty good, I think. Although then, who knows, maybe souL does scout it and just bunkers, but yeah. Okay, Banshee comes on in. Spore Crawler, good positioning. Elazer, though, his queen's busy responding to the Hellions at the 3rd. It's been a while since we saw souL dive in with his Hellions and get like a magic like 20 drone kills. So Elazer does seem to be keeping a lid on it. Better these days, which is nice. I say these days, in reality I mean the past 2 hours. Hour or so. Stim on the way. Queens repelling those Hellions. Okay. Reaper's tossing down a grenade. souL's being really active with his forces. Denying creep would be the main damage I'd say he's getting here. He is keeping Elazer in a nice little box. It's like, yeah, souL's getting no damage done, but in a sense he is. I mean, the creep spread does seem to be fairly far back. Like, Elazer is doing a great job getting on 4 bases, powering up. He's getting up a macro hatch, not trying to take a 5th base, which I think is a wise choice. It wouldn't be easy to hold, I don't believe. So getting up the macro hatch first is cool. Then he's just getting up Banelink speed. I mean, he's got his 1-1 on the way. I don't think there's anything that really says... Oh, by the way, great counterattack by Elazer, or just great attack by Elazer. Gets himself 4 SCVs. The Lings are actually trapped in here, so maybe this wasn't worth it. And oh my god, the Hellions, they dive on in. Oh no, Elazer does kill all of the Hellions. 8 dead Hellions for 20 dead drones. He also got 5 SCVs, but then he lost 30 odd Lings. Probably not worth it. Of course this isn't the game-ending damage it would have been at the 5-minute mark. But then Elazer still traded away all of his Lings, took huge economic damage he's got to replace. And now he's got to stop this push, but it's not like he's got his Lings to do it. And maybe he kind of just like, you know, checkmated himself a little bit. Lings come from the rear, a lot of them die though. Banshee's shredding these Lings actually. Elazer's not dead. The threat potential by souL is huge though. The tank's repositioning. These queens really just overcommitted. The Banelings want to roll on in. They don't get the connections they need. Elazer's like, yeah, I guess we'll use the Banes on the tanks, but then he's got literally squat for the bio. That's it. Yeah, that was just 1-2 punches. It's like Elazer kind of like took a swing at souL, tripped on a rake,
And then souL just, I don't know, kicked him while he was down. Well done by souL. Tough luck to Elazer for that one. Maybe he committed too many links to that counterattack. Like, you can throw a few out, but you don't want to throw that many out. He saw the door was open, he got excited. And Beckett Industries does go to the Xur, or to the Terran. And then, yeah. Then, yeah, he just traded away too many, like, say he goes for that, loses the Lings, but then he still shuts down the Hellions. Then it's like, okay, because he quickly replaces the Lings. But then he loses, but then say he loses the, like, say he loses the Hellions, or loses the Lings, and then, yeah, I mean, nothing else happens. He can defend, he can replace his army, and all's good. Looks like we're gonna throw to a short break here, guys. We'll be back in a minute. It's currently 28-16. souL's looking in the lead. Still got to win 7 more maps though, and every map, money's on the line. Back in a few.
Okay, we're back. Loading into map number 45, I think. 45 out of 69. That's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. Which means we could have another potential 24 maps on our hands if it goes the distance. In the bottom left, let me make sure that scene switcher is on, and it is. It is Cascade souL. And in the bottom right, it's Elazer. What a best of 69 this has been. Truly phenomenal. And it's still going. So it's got a 12 map lead. Honestly, it seems kind of rough for Zerg in a series like this. To me, what souL's doing to Elazer seems like... It seemed... No, I was about to make a TVP comparison on the Terran side of thing, in which the Protoss just has like a linear build order, and assuming that the Protoss executes that well, there's not a lot of options for Terran. And that seems kind of true on the Zerg side of things. Like, souL seems to be performing better than Elazer. And when you're up against a player who's better than you, it's like, okay, cheese them. And Terran definitely has that option. Like, Terran can 2-racks Zerg. Terran can Hellbat all in. Terran can battle cruiser rush, that kind of stuff. And souL's doing all of that, even though it's not like he's scared of Elazer. It would seem anyway. But continuing on after that, it's like, as Elazer, souL's definitely the favorite here. Like, and that makes you say, well, maybe you need to switch it up. Maybe you need to cheese some more, that kind of thing. But then, aside from the proxy hatch we've seen once, or maybe 3 times in this best of 69, it's like, what do you do as the Zerg? Yes, you can go for queen attacks, which have worked, and I think that's actually where a good chunk of Elazer's wins have come from. But then it's like, yeah, what do you do? Cool missiles there, by the way. Because, yeah, souL's just prepared for anything. And he's not letting Elazer deviate from the course. But Elazer's going to lose if he doesn't deviate from the course, or just suddenly start performing miraculously better. Okay. Looks like the team league has finished up, so hello to everyone who's coming from that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Starport about to finish up for souL. We'll probably see a 3rd command center. I mean, he is making that extra Reaper though, interestingly enough. So gonna apply a bit more pressure. I think this is the first time we've seen this in this series, so good to see that souL's still changing it up. Just wants a little bit more bullying power with the Reaper and Hellion. This is going to delay whatever he's going for a little bit, but he'll still get up like the 3rd, relatively timed. Maybe he'll go for an armory. Anyway, in comes souL. I mean, he's got the 2 Reapers, a little bit more power, using the grenades to zone out the Zerg. The Reapers add quite a bit of DPS to the Queens. He gets one of the Queens. Gonna get a couple of drones. Yeah, probably couldn't have done that as well without the 1 extra Reaper. In comes souL again, tosses down Reaper grenades. All the while Elazer spamming down the Queens. Trying to spread creep. comes souL again with the Hellions. Banshee harassment going off. Reapers and Hellions thinking of diving towards the third. Good reaction time by Elazer. Spore finishes up. So Elazer not taking damage this time. souL delayed his build a little bit. I mean, not significantly, really, but, like, that extra Reapers and all these Hellions slowed things down a bit. I mean, the 8 Hellions ain't cheap, and he hasn't got too much done with it. I mean, he's kept pressure on Elazer, like, Elazer probably hasn't exploded in drones as much as he'd like. Then the Zerg's also got Baneling Speed on the way, Spire on the way. Banshees have killed 4 drones, 5 drones, 6 drones. But yeah, I think this has been a pretty solid opening from the Zerg. Hellions for souL, always threatening. As a Elazer, you can't really breathe a sigh of relief until you've taken care of these. That being said, in about 30 seconds here, there should be some mutas out for Elazer, which will be able to push these Hellions away. And yeah, I think the Zerg player should feel pretty darn confident. 4th base is going up. It's pretty hard for the Terran to harass that, it looks like. souL is going to be able to probably launch a pretty nasty push from his 3rd base position. I mean, we saw before in one of the games how he came up with tanks on here, and the chokes were kind of nasty. souL's probably going to want to scan here, clean up that creep. Does not. There we go, now he's got energy. Cleaning this up for a potential push. Banshee's moving towards the north. There's the mutas going out, though. souL's got Squat in his main base to deal with this. So this is actually going to really force souL's hand. Wow, this is actually great for Elazer. And as long as he can buy a bit of time, let this damage compound. Getting 8 SCVs is real nice. 9 SCVs. As long as he keeps microing these while dealing with the push, Elazer does sally forth, but, I mean, souL took an engagement. It wasn't as careful as an engagement as he wanted, though, because he was busy dealing with the mutas. He felt forced to deal with them. Looks like 2 mutas did go down to the Marines, but keep in mind this was a minimal muta count that got big damage done. The Banshees, however, hitting the 4th base is quite painful. We'll see if Elazer can save that. Probably not going to be the case. Needs to throw up another expansion right away, I believe. While this is going on, though, I mean, he's making more mutas. That base does go down. That's quite unfortunate. If Elazer had saved that base, I'd say he'd be in a great spot. I think he's still in an alright spot. 3 base Zerg isn't terrible. Double expanding is an interesting choice. Maybe that's because he, towards this location anyway, was an interesting choice. Maybe that's because he felt that this base is just too easily harassed. But then again, the base on the front lines was quite ambitious. Ling's going for a counterattack. They find a supply depot. Tank gonna shoo them away though. Getting that depot. Nice. Gonna supply block souL a little bit. Elazer sallies forth. This time the muta's helping him out. Spends all of his banelings, but does take care of the siege tank. souL's gonna have a hard time stepping on creep now, I feel, as Elazer's making more banes, getting up more lings. Banshees do go down to the mutas after a nice round of harassment, getting that hatchery, forcing the drones away from that base momentarily. Elazer's still trying to get up his 4th base. Gonna go for a wraparound on these Marines. No choice but to fully retreat for souL. He does retreat to more units though, and will be pushed away. Well, we'll turn around and push Elazer away. +2 Carapace on the way, +2 melee on the way. More mutas on the way. I mean, souL's been constantly pushing Elazer. So far, Elazer hasn't overextended. He's now getting a really nice counterattack off. Pardon me for missing that with the observing there. Kills off 5 SCVs, turning the pressure around on souL. Lost mining time, 8 dead SCVs in total. souL's down to 50 workers. I mean, that's barely enough to maintain, I think. And so, yeah, that's why as a Elazer, he can feel pretty confident right now, I think. He's actually going to have an upgrade lead in the future as souL's just rocking the 1 upgrade research right now. Another Ling counterattack, sizable portion being sectioned off. Going to be looking for a counterattack. Maybe he wants to morph some Banes with those, or we'll see if he runs them just right on in there and says, yeah, go full send. He's going to catch these units, or just run towards the mineral line. Gonna get the turret, actually. Get some SCVs. Elaser's got 12 Banelings, 17 mutas. Would like to see some more Banelings made for the defense back at home. He's busy chasing this drop to the north. This might give souL a little bit of confidence to push on over here, but he's not. And yeah, things are looking real good for Elazer. Getting this medivac. Counterattack going down. Not going to find too much. I am a little bit worried for Elazer that he's kind of neglecting this front, but at the same time, with these mutas getting on the other side of the map, it's gonna make souL's life rather hard. But yeah, souL's push here is no joke. Tanks getting in range of the Baneling nest, so to say goodbye to that. The Evo chambers are also going to be under threat. At some point, Elazer's going to have to pull the trigger on defending this. The Marines that are segmented up are easy pickings for the mutas, so that's rather good. Yeah, it's going to be time for Elazer to go for it, though he is going to pull the trigger. Looks like souL is being pushed back. Lots of Banelings rolling forward. An absurd number of Banelings, actually. Not going to get really good connections as souL kites back, but then all the tanks get cleaned up. Medivacs going down. souL is a 3-basing Terran. He's got a lot of reinforcements coming forward, though. And so Elazer's going to have to back off, and keep in mind, Elazer lost his Baneling nest. I don't know if you guys witnessed that or not. Yeah, the Zerg player just playing with Lings and Mutas now. There's the Baneling nest remaking, and if souL sees that, I feel like souL would be like, no Banelings? It's him to win. We'll see if he's going to hesitate at all, but oh gosh, is this going to start going south for Elazer? It's looking not great. No, the Muta's fighting the Lings. Oh, the Baneling nest, the lack of Banelings killing Elazer there in what I think was a good game from him. He seemed to be in a solid position the entire time, but then souL takes yet another one. GG Blackburn going to the Terran. Elazer so close there. I'm really rooting for the guy here. But it's just not happening. My hat is on rather silly. Let's fix that. That's tough. Elazer's playing great games. Looks like Skillis used the Maturino coupon code. Thank you, Skillis. Both players are ready, and off we go. souL needs to win 6 more maps. Elazer needs to win 19. That'll tell you how that's going for Elazer. I mean, I think Elazer has been close to winning. Like, he's had a few maps which really should have gone his way, I feel, but then just like one little thing, like that Baneling S, cost him there. I feel like that hasn't been the case for souL as much. Like, most of souL's victories have been rather straightforward. Like, there hasn't been a lot in which it's like, oh, can souL win? It's more like, oh, can Elazer win? If that makes any sense at all. Guys, I've been commentating a long time now. This is like the 10th hour of souL versus Elazer. Yeah, 10th hour. So forgive me as I ramble on about things. Yeah.
I'm glad to say I'll be able to have done a best of 69 after this. I was shocked when the quality of games were gonna be this high. Like when we got souL versus Elazer, I was like, damn. You know? Not a lot of players want to go ahead and play a best of 69. Let's see, who did I ask? I asked a lot of players. Or put it this way, not a lot wanted to play against souL. Regular old Reaper expand. Actually, second barracks. So regular old Reaper expand into a 2-1-1. Now, for the Zerg side of things, this is literally that build that if you say, oh hey, my opponent's going 2-1-1, a Zerg knows how to defend it. Will Elazer spot it's a 2-1-1 with this Overlord? Maybe? I mean, no Hellions from souL, Elazer's gonna be like, where are they? The Reaper, a little bit overcommitted. Oh, I think maybe Elazer could have got that, but not quite. The juking dancing game. Ever a pain. Good save by souL. Don't mind me just adjusting in the chair. Reaper trying to get that creep to him, or not getting that is a big deal. So that's nice. souL's got the stim on the way, starport on the way, marines on the way. Did Elazer spot this? No. Elazer certainly knows how to defend a 2-1-1, but I'm not gonna say he can't be caught off guard. There's the Reaper running in. I'm looking at Elazer's vision right now, because it's like, Elazer, are you gonna be ready for this? I mean, based off his Overlord positioning, right? Like, he's worried about Hellions, and rightfully so. This Ling is gonna run on in soon. Is it gonna give him the tell that he needs? There we go. He sees all the Marines. Where's the Lings? Soon we'll see like 32 Lings fire up for Elazer. Might want to pull his Overlords back. Yeah, he pulls 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, knowing that it's a 2-1-1. Oh my God, souL, you mad lad. Okay, this is a follow-up to a 2-1-1 one never sees. A battle cruiser. What is all I'll say? souL is... is this freestyling at this point? Or is this just souL being a mastermind? Anyway, he's going to go into a battle cruiser behind this. He's going to throw up an extra starport. The double BC is real strong. Elazer pulled all his Overlords back. Yeah, this is something. Alright, the Marines stim in. Elazer has got the Lings, they're gonna push this away, and Elazer's gonna be like, oh, I'm so good. I scouted it's a 2-on-1 and I'm gonna defend it. And souL's like, battle cruisers at random times that my opponent is not gonna be ready for. I mean, Elazer's got queens. 10 queens, notably. How many BCs does souL build up to? That's the question. I feel like 2 ain't gonna do it. If you're souL,
and he just saw the lair timing, so he knows it's going to be a while for the Spire. So if your souL, who by the way, doesn't have combat shield and doesn't have the barracks on a tech lab. There we go. Now he lands that. He's like, maybe I need that. Maybe I don't. You can tell he's freestyling by doing this. Elazer's lack of scouting, though, is really hurting him. A bunker's even going up for souL, which is just quite bizarre. Elazer realizes souL's 2-basing still, maybe? I don't know if he does. Overlord goes down, souL gonna get those units out of there. At some point, Elazer's gotta go like, okay, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Third base is now just on the way. souL's got 2 BCs. Oh, he's going with the 2. I don't know about this, because the 10 queens are no joke. The BCs, of course, will surprise Elazer. Yamato Cannon's not done yet, though, so really it's a matter of these queens getting all pulled into the right position. 6 drones go down. You're gonna need more than that, I think, for your souL. A lot of lost mining time. If these BCs bounce towards the 4th or the 3rd, that would be nice. Laser's already reacting, so losing a ton of mining time. Losing overlords, too. BC's going over the queens. Yamato Cannon's about 10 seconds away. This drop down here is being managed by Elazer. We'll presumably see 2 more BCs teleport on in soon. Mule being dropped even to repair. Where's the Yamato Cannon? There's the Yamato Cannon. There's the 3rd battle cruiser. This is where it can become problematic for Elazer. All of a sudden, his queen can't drop. Make that 9 queens against 3 BCs. I think that's a fight the BCs can take. Particularly when there's going to be a 4th battle cruiser showing up in a little bit. Looks like it will be a full-blown retreat on the BCs, though. There's the other battle cruiser teleporting on in. Oh my god, Elazer just taps out. He's like, yeah, the BCs just keep coming. That's got to be a frustrating one for Elazer. GG, yeah. Elazer wasn't ready for this, and he didn't scout. And that's kind of his fault. If you do scout it, you build spores, I guess, right? Like, Elazer never had a spore. Or never had one in his main. Never one at his 4th. Just wasn't ready. GG. souL takes another one. That puts him across the big 3-0. souL with the Pog, 5 to go. Alright, we're gonna be having a quick break. Diddy01, use the Matcherino code. Thank you. Looks like we have got only 7 Matcherino codes to go, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that. Best of 69 is the coupon code. If you guys can use that, that would be awesome. I think for playing a best of 69... yeah, I think for playing a best of 69, these guys should have all their Matcherino coupon codes used. Let me see, can I pull this up easily? Yes, I can. You know what? Screw it, we'll do it. I'm gonna show you, if you've never seen it before, how to use a Matcherino coupon code. Here we be, on the Matcherino URL that I've been spamming in chat, spamming like it's a copy pasta. This is Matcherino. This is not the whole prize pool. This plus $690 is the prize, but we're raising what extra we can for the players. It's been a fair few contributions. You guys can grab the event replays. It's 10 buckaroos. Figured that $10 was fair for such a replay pack. Yeah. And so you sign on in if you wanna contribute. Pick whatever option you like. There is a plethora of them. Press contribute. Type in the coupon code BO69. You'll see I've already used mine, right? See, already used. But that's all. Bing bang boom. Bob's your uncle. Making sure everyone's ready. The laser says go, and so we go. Not quite finished, but we're getting there. And souL at this rate will win, like, I mean, at this ratio is gonna win 5 games, and Elazer's gonna win like 2 more, maybe? At this ratio. Who knows, maybe Elazer will bring it back, maybe he'll fold like a piece of wet paper. Or just a regular piece of paper. That folds pretty well too. In the bottom right, we have got Cascade Gaming souL. And in the top left, we've got Ago Elazer. Elazer's got to be a little sad after what happened in the last game, but maybe he needs to look at his overall play. Or something. I was gonna joke about turning it into a best of 96, but a best of 420 sounds pretty dope too. That would be absurd. That would be like a week of Starcraft 2. No, it would be more. That would be like 2 weeks. Make it a month. We've got 68 viewers, and all I can say is, come on, one guy. Let's make that 69. Reaper on the way for souL. Yeah, this is normal timed. It was not a CC first. I'm not going crazy. Pretty normal opening. Actually, pardon me, not pretty normal opening. 6 roaches on the way for Elazer. He decided to get aggro. He just wanders by the Reaper. Maybe he could have got it, but yeah, souL has been going for a mine build. Changes that up. Gonna start up a Banshee right away as the Elazer's putting the gas on.
If you guys would forgive me, I was just looking up some of the other best of 69s. For some other good players out there and stuff, like how Snoot played 2. But that's not important right now. Hellions are on the way. Hellions are out. Banshee is gonna try and get out in time, but there's gonna be dead SCVs. This is like the first time we've seen this. And I know that's because souL's been scouting a lot, but then he also kind of slept on his scouting a little bit. Now there's roaches in his base. The Banshee, of course, puts a clock on this. The question is how many SCVs die between now and then. And so far the answer is 12, 13, soon to be 14, and Elazer, who is maybe like at the end of his hope, just pulls a dirty one on souL. And when I say at the end of his hope was like, dang. Dang, I'm behind 14 maps. So let's just go ahead and pull a big one out. And now Elazer literally just has to defend this BC. I think that's the only requirement of him. He saw the fusion core, he knows. souL's gonna move out with his Marines, move out with his Banshee, see what he can make happen, but it's not like he's got cloak for the Banshee. I mean, there's 6 Marines moving out. Elazer needs to start spores. That's what I want to see. If Elazer doesn't start spores, I'm gonna be like, why? Why? There's spores. He just knows the timing that well. Which is kind of nuts if you think about it. Because, like, who knows how to time out a BC versus spore thing that well? When you went for a roach rush. But apparently Elazer has got pretty darn good game sense. The Banshee being pushed away. The Banshee gonna grab what drones it can, but yeah, souL down to 31 workers trying to get out a 3rd CC is pretty ambitious. It's gonna be a hell of a comeback if he can make this happen. 9, 10 drones go down, not insignificant, but then not that many either. Seeing as how Elazer's just turning out more, and then doesn't have really anything to worry about at all. That, I think Elazer probably just answered my next question. A Roach Warren, or Roach Speed, researching at the Roach Warren. Yeah, my question was going to be, is there just going to be a follow-up big old Roach attack? And I think this is a pretty good choice by the Zerg. I think he's at 65 drones already. Soon enough, he'll just be able to start laying on that Roach key, and then souL has got to stop it somehow. I like this. Elazer, yay, looking good. Even getting up a Spire for good measure. I wonder if he's going to change course and go into a Spire. Yeah, that was a good play by Elazer. Battlecruiser teleports back into the main base. I mean, Spore and Queen gonna push this away. Elazer even saving that one drone. What a boss. Queens respond. This one-ling sees the 3rd base of souL going down, so it's like, yeah, I'm trying to take a 3rd base, but I know you're out there hiding. Out there lurking. Yeah, Queens push the BC away. Roaches move forward. Eats a tank shot. That is not as many roaches as I think Elazer could have. He's actually not committing to the attack, which kind of shocks me. Of course, it's a hard call to make to be like, yeah, I'm going to go kill you when I'm very far ahead. Instead, Elazer says, I'll test the waters, but then I'll just throw up an infestation pit, get up a Hydra Den, and play the game out. And that actually speaks volumes to the confidence of Elazer, I think. I think it really does, because, like, he's like, yeah, I could go for the big Roach all-in, which I honestly think probably would have worked, realistically. But then at the same time, he's like, or I can just macro up and win the game that way. And even though he's kind of been behind in this series, quite a bit, it really speaks volumes to his confidence.
Oh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Apparently my PC is kind of dying.
Game paused.
Apparently my internet is dying. One sec. I think we are back, presumably. Yeah, we're good. No, we are not. I think we're good. That's kind of odd. Oh, my internet just decided to croak. That was quite bizarre.
Game resumed.
Alright, soul's starting to drop. Boosting around. That's honestly one of the questions as a tournament organizer, which you have to ask yourself, like, do you want to interrupt players playing the game because your internet's dying? Like, should I have just left there? Probably not. But at the same time, a pause that is not on either of the players' end, it's kind of like, understandably should not be something that affects players. Great drop by souL here, gonna be getting the 5th base. And this is where the concern kind of starts for Elazer. Like, souL's dropping all over the place, he's got Liberators harassing, he just killed off the 5th base, he's up to 66 workers, whereas Elazer's maxed out, so he's kind of just playing it out and giving souL a lot of life in this series. souL, realizing it's lurkers, is going up to Liberators. Multiple starports on the way, so yeah, gonna be going hard on the libs. And as time goes, this game's only gonna get better for souL as time goes on. Elazer's literally maxed out, giving souL time of day to build what he likes. Yeah, circling back to that though, as a tournament organizer, it's like, do you want to possibly interrupt the player's play? Because of course, like, if it's just like some online cup, or a tournament qualifier or something, as a caster, you leave right away the second you lag. And if you don't, well, not that I think that there's anyone in this scene who doesn't do that, I think you're in the wrong, basically. But then if it's like a second of lag in a tournament that you're organizing and you're literally the only one broadcasting it, it's like, you know? It's hard to say. This drop gets shut down. The 1 or 2 Hydras there kills off that full medivac. Vipers are on the way. Battlecruiser actually died, by the way. souL threw that away. Yeah. Lots of spores out for Elazer. I mean, against the mass liberators, that'll work. I think that had the Battlecruiser in mind. But wow, Elazer's actually just building spores for days. Is this to deal with deal with just drops, liberators? Does he think there's going to be battle cruisers on the way? More of them? I really don't know. Yeah. Elazer is going to need an answer to all these liberators, though. Maybe he's just building the spores so he can reposition them later. Maybe he's just saying enough, enough, no drops. But yeah, we are heading into a later game TvZ. This is what I expected to see more of, but souL's just been having so much success in the mid game, it hasn't really been necessary, it would seem. But since he's now behind, he's turtling up. Liberators got a Ghost Academy on the way, that kind of thing. 3-3 should presumably start for souL soon. It's already on the way for Elazer. So Elazer definitely still is in an okay spot this game if he's able to play it out. Like, he's got a lead, and if things continue their course, he'll probably win. But then again, if souL's late game is phenomenal as it's been hyped up to be, and as we've seen in the past, it might be concerning for Elazer, because yeah, souL's been able to stay alive in this game, play it out, that kind of stuff. Elazer is moving out on the map, which I think is an absolute must. He's got the Vipers so he can abduct the Liberators, except he doesn't actually have enough Hydras here to really kill off the Liberators. Gonna drop a Parasitic Bomb. That's nice, how that affects Liberators when they're all clumped up. Yeah, there's not enough Hydras though, otherwise I'd say just start abducting Liberators. Parasitic bombs are being used, but that's rather slow. Abducts, there we go, now there's enough Hydras here. Another abduct. Another dead Hydra, or another dead Liberator. Another abduct, another abduct. That's nice. This is exactly what Zerg wants to be doing. Hydras and Lurkers pushing forward, Liberator gets targeted down, Lurkers can push away the bio rather easily. souL's kind of being bullied a little bit. He's down on supply because he's been investing in so much tech. He never got a chance to max out. Elazer going for an attack into all these tanks is not going to have the greatest success. This push is keeping this base off. Did that base actually die? I think base may have died, or did it just float away? Yeah, there's a dead command center on the production tab. 12 Hydras are now on the way here for Elazer. souL feeling the pressure. He's going to try and get another base over here. It's not going to be easy for Elazer to break souL, but he's got the means to try, that's for sure. The Vipers are no joke. And whether he's going to just try and run on in or something with the Lurkers and Vipers, that's something that's curious. EMP lands, hits the Vipers. There's only really energy for one spell left, but then again, there's just so much Zerg that it's kind of concerning for souL. Snipes go down, but then again, the Lurkers are just such a threat. The tank doing what it can, but there's literally just so many Lurkers here. This base is going to have to lift off without a doubt, I feel. Most likely, anyway. souL repairing it is a good move. It's not a PF yet, though, so it can't kill those injured Lurkers, and it does have to lift off. souL still down at 150 supply, is being kept down. That's really important by Elazer. These tanks are getting good shots off. There's maybe going to be a ghost snipe or two, and all of a sudden Elazer has bled off a good amount of units. Or I guess in Elazer's case, it's a bad amount of units. souL trying to get this base up, and he is. This is where things are becoming concerning. Elazer is not dealing with souL as efficiently as he could be here. Apparently the answer, though, is 18 Lurkers. I was curious, like, Elazer can make anything. He could have gone Mutas, he could have gone Corruptors, Broodlords, you name it, whatever he wants. He could have gone for Massling Bane. The choice here has been to go for 18 Lurkers and probably just charge onto souL. I don't dislike this decision. It's a really bold play. He's going to be breaking up into two groups, and it's going to be pretty much impossible for souL to defend this location here. 18 Lurkers is not an easy thing to deal with. He's just going to lift off what he can. Elazer's going to come in towards the right side. He's just throwing his weight around, or his economic weight around in the form of these 18 Lurkers that he afforded. The base is being repaired. These Lurkers are doing squat right now. And so yeah, souL's actually going to push this away. That attack was not as successful as it should have been. If Elazer charged in towards the third, he probably would have had more success, as there was very little defense there. And then his lurkers that charged in here, they didn't go any further, although they probably could have or should have. And I'm just really concerned right now because souL is starting to build up that late game army. He's got, I mean, 5 Liberators. He's building up a few more Ghosts too, and he's basically taken his side of the map. There's these 2 bases which are still up for grab. Elazer has yet to take either one of them though. And oh man, it's just he hasn't been able to kill souL. That window's passed, and this is the late game TvZ that I've wanted to see from souL. That I know he's so good at, but at the same time, souL hasn't needed to take the game here. Now he's doing it though. Elazer's already kind of floundering a bit. He's attacking on in towards the 3rd. He's gonna get this base, which is nice, but souL's past the point, which losing 1 command center is a huge deal. And then Elazer kind of just, I don't know, hanging out around here. Yeah, it's good harassment. It's taking the attention of souL, but it's going to cost Elazer when souL comes forward and lands a bunch of snipes and EMPs and sets up Liberators. Yeah, there's a bunch of dead lurkers. There's going to be a snipe going down on a Viper, and that was costly to Elazer, and he really didn't get anything. He's going to be hitting this base down here, which is good. souL might have to lift that off. No, he'll just lose it. That kind of hurts, although he doesn't actually end up losing it. souL's going to push on in towards his opponent. There's not a lot of anti-Liberator right now. And so it's like, Elazer, what are you doing? Like, Hydras aren't going to cut it. You need Corruptors at this point. He literally doesn't have enough anti-air available to himself. The Lings coming behind the tanks is a nice move. But at the same time, there's 9 Liberators and there's like, how many Hydras? 7 Hydras to deal with all these Liberators? They're getting a good angle on the Liberators. And he is cleaning up a lot of this, but I still think that this has gone poorly for Elazer. He lost 25 drones, he lost 2 bases. He's got a hell of a bank. But then again, souL's still just getting his upgrades. He's still just playing with his dream kind of composition here. He's got this base down to the bottom right now. Elazer is going to come on in. And he definitely needs to get some damage done to souL. Lurker's gonna reposition outside the space. The concern is souL's gonna come in with his army, like Liberators and Ghosts, and take this out. We'll see. It's being repaired by the mules. 5 Lurkers is not enough to kill off a base by themselves. Outside repair. Liberator's getting set up. souL's scanned. Elazer is not reacting in time here. He's gonna bleed off a lot more Lurkers. Elazer's bank's getting smaller. souL's is getting bigger. Both players are maxed out. souL's now coming on in here. I'm really concerned for Elazer. Yeah, Ling's getting a good surround on the tank. I mean, Elazer isn't necessarily doing anything wrong, but souL's just kind of non-committal here. Liberator getting set on up, gonna kill that queen. Hydras are coming on in. We'll be able to deal with that. But the last thing that Elazer wants to be dealing right now is with 1 Liberator that's... it's just really tough for the Zerg. Like, he wants a kill move, he needs a kill move. I mean, it's not like souL's had a huge ghost count either this game. He's got literally 4 ghosts, so maybe going Corruptors would have been a lot better. Probably would have, to be honest. As the Corruptors would deal with the Liberators, and then the Lurkers would deal with what's on the ground. So yeah, I think that we should have seen Corruptors for Elazer, just based off the low ghost count for souL. Now that souL's ghost count is going up though, that window's kind of passed. But then again, what do you make against a Terran who has got to this composition? The Zergs don't know it. This is where a lot of Zerg problems have come from these days. souL's gonna just encroach on into his opponent. Liberators expertly use ghosts getting snipes. And it just happens so fast when a Terran shows up with Liberators. We're seeing Abducts go down. Abducts on the Liberators is real good. That's actually a lot of dead Liberators. We're going to see the Zerg move forward. Blinding Clouds on the tanks are great, but then again, it's just Hydras against Bio. So it's like Elazer's doing what he can to counter what he can, but then when everything just pairs off, he loses everything. And souL's just won the game. Yeah, just like that, GG. That was not great for Elazer. And souL closes it out with confidence. And it makes you wonder, should Elazer have just gone for that big roach attack? The answer is probably. Or he should have, I don't know, done something else.
But yeah, souL's late game TvZ is just so good. We're going to be on Oxide for our next map. souL potentially only needs to win 4 more games, which is nutty. I was not expecting that. Yeah, Elazer had a big lead there. Yeah, big thanks to everyone for tuning on in. It looks like this will be shorter than expected, to be honest. 4 more maps wins for souL. That's literally all you need to win a best of 7. Elazer, I want to say, can like bring it back, but at the same time, I've never been one of those commentators who hypes things up. I want to see like 1 or 2 more good games from Elazer, but or some more good games for Elazer, but if souL wins this next map, he'll literally be doubling Elazer's map score. That's not good. Now here we have it in the top right. It's souL. And in the bottom left, it's Elazer. Yeah, I mean, we're, what, 3 hours into this broadcast, 8 hours into the other one? We're only 11 hours in. This could be a lot shorter than expected. I was literally expecting, like, okay, day 1, it'll be a long day for me, so we'll do 8 hours then, and then, like, 10 hours the next day. But with souL just killing it, Elazer is potentially just gonna lose out, and that would give souL a big chunk of the prize money. Like Elazer's claimed $160, souL's claimed $310 so far. Any map that's unplayed, souL gets the money. That's why even if Elazer can get a few more maps off, that'll make him feel better. So like say souL wins the next 4, he walks away with, oh, I don't know, 500 bucks or so. Yeah, over 500 bucks, I think. Plus the Matcherino, which by the way, still got a few of those coupon codes to use. Quimodus, Zikmaz, Kafka. I'll use the Matcherino coupon code. Thank you guys so much. That should actually bring us pretty close to using them all. We've got literally 4 more to use. You guys can also grab the event replays on the Matcherino. Get yourself a solid 50 plus TvZ replays. souL's Reaper comes on in, Elazer gonna micro against. Drone under fire, but... Oh, an Evo. Why the Evo? Huh. Was that just quicker for Elazer to press? Or is there a reason for that? I don't know. Double CC from souL. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Queen zoning out the Reaper, souL trying to find an angle to get the tumor, but Laser keeps that active. The mini battles these guys have over something as simple as a creep tumor is nuts. And that's what makes it look exhausting to be a StarCraft 2 pro. But then again, at the same time, it's just pretty much second nature to them. Ling speed finishes up for Elazer. Still mining gas, so should have a lair on the way soon. What are we feeling for Elazer this game? I feel like he's not sure himself. There's a fourth. Okay, good timed fourth. 10 drones on the way. Lots of drones. Going hard on the workers. Actually, really hard. And he's got 9 Lings to defend against the Hellions. We'll see if he's going to fire up some more soon, but so far Elazer's queen positioning is good to zone out these units. There's spores on the way, which will help deal with the Banshees. No lair getting started just yet. There's the Baneling nest. Yeah, just a macro game. Solid opening too from Elazer. souL, I feel like we've been looking at souL less and less as this series has gone on. That's just because he's been playing it pretty darn consistently. Cloak Banshee on the way, Stim Pack, couple barracks, double eBays on the way. Banshees do kill off 4 drones. That's within the realm of acceptability, 5 drones. As long as he doesn't lose, I mean, even if he loses like 10, but then in go the Hellions, and oh, they get 13. Oh, those drones were like perfectly clumped up for those Hellions. I'm not gonna say that that's like game-ending dead Zerg damage, but it's pretty bad. souL moving about with his Hellions. I mean, he got the 13 drones with the Banshees and the Hellions, but he didn't even throw away the Hellions. Like, if he had thrown away the Hellions, I'd say that this is not a bad spot for Elazer, but it's not a great spot either. It's an spot. The Hellions are going to add volume to the push that souL's going to go for eventually. Infestation Pit's already on the way for Elazer, so presumably we'll see a Hydra Den soon. 5th base on the way. Either that or he's going to rush to something like Quick Ultras. That would be something. Would Quick Ultras be the worst thing here? Maybe not. If he can get to them. Just defend with Ling Bane, get up to Ultras. souL's got a significant upgrade lead right now. Elazer just fires up Baneling speed. He's got a lot of Lings gonna try and get around on this, but the 1-1 upgrade's really showing there for souL as the Lings trade out. Not that great. Elazer's just gonna have to keep churning out units. He starts up the Hive a little bit late. The Infestation Pit had finished up for a while. Elazer's got a lot of resources under his belt. If he can make the hold without spending these minerals, that's gonna be a testament to his position, but otherwise, yeah, he gotta keep spending that money. He's having a hard time with it though. I mean, floating over 1,000 resources, just churning out as many Lings as he can. His Carapace is done, which is gonna make his units a lot more beefy. His +1 attack is done. He's bleeding off a lot of units to these siege tanks though, as souL's coming on in.
Elazer taking the pressure. One Baneling walks forward, actually gets a decent connection, but then all of a sudden the Zerg army is just gone. Lings are trying to get on top of the tanks, but there's just too much bio here. It looks like there's the counterattack, but yeah, Elazer taps out, and this is looking rough. Like a rough finish for our Polish Zerg as souL takes yet another one. Marking us at 32-16. Next map's gonna be Romanticide. Yeah, I mean, I think Elazer just didn't spend his money there, right? Like I was talking about, like, oh, is he gonna go to Ultras and try and bridge that gap? But it's not like he was rushing into anything there. And, yeah. Tough days. Alright guys, looks like souL's requested a break, which is fair. Then we'll come back, maybe see this thing out, or it'll be one of the greatest comebacks of all time. Back in a few.
Alright guys, we are back. Or I'm back. Funny how often I refer to we. It's one of those weird things. Just waiting for Elazer to be ready. Okay, and we're off into match number 49. And in the bottom right, we have got souL. And in the top left, it's none other than Elazer. Okay, hatchery on the way for Elazer. But yeah, it's all looking pretty darn good for the Terran. As he has now officially doubled the score of Elazer. He did that earlier on in the series. I think he had 6-3. And then he hit a significant lead of like 12-4 at some point. Elazer fought it back a little. But there is quite a difference between doubling your opponent's score at 6-3 versus then doing it at 32-16. It really means that you're winning double the maps. Elazer, I mean, he's won himself $160 so far. Maybe he can score a bit more dosh. Winning about $20 today. He did the majority of his work yesterday. souL's got himself a 7-map to 2 lead as far as today goes, or 8-map to 2 lead, I want to say. Gonna be excited to keep keep an eye on Elazer's performance in the future. Like, let's pull up his Liglac and see how he's been doing. As we watch this Reaper harass. I don't think I've seen Elazer in too many like EPT cups and stuff. Okay, he's played in some. Yeah, like, he's been beating players and going up toe-to-toe with the players that you generally expect. Maybe like a little lower than he's usually at, but I mean, he's still been playing really darn good. souL, of course, is just an absolute menace. $32-16, what is that means? Petnez Gamba, that means that souL has won 32 maps and Elazer has won 16. Creep spreading. souL didn't go up the ramp. Could have potentially got that tumor, did not. Stims on the way for souL, as he is going for a 2-on-1 build. The last 2-on-1 he went for, he followed it up with double battle cruisers. And kind of rolled over Elazer. We'll see if he's planning on doing the same thing again. That would be nuts. That would be crazy if he does. Stim's on the way for souL, about to finish up. The usual 2-on-1 kind of stuff. Does Elazer know this is happening? The answer is... don't think so. So Elazer in the dark about this. I mean, he's firing up spore crawlers. He definitely doesn't know this is a 2-on-1. Yeah, if souL gets across the map with this and Elazer's got no idea... wait, this isn't even a 2-on-1. Gosh, I'm silly. This is just a follow-up to a 3cc play. But I don't believe Elazer's prepared for a bunch of Stim Marines showing up. He's rather in the dark, and I will say that Elazer's scouting has lagged behind a little bit lately. Now the Marines are going to unload at the front. Alright, the Queens are there, so he should be fine. souL's got tanks, more Marines on the way. He could just be leading up to a big push through the center of the map as he's been doing. His Hellions are buffering. Getting ready to engage the Lings kind of thing. So far, though, souL not getting too much damage done. Yeah. Medivac's being pushed away. souL does have a follow-up plan. Tanks. Double tanks, actually, and then all of his Marines. Marine's going to load up into that Medivac, because it's cooler to fly than it is to walk. And yeah, then the pressure's going to start mounting on his opponent. Hellion's going to come back, join up at the front. Elazer's going to have to deal with these tanks. He's got Baneling speed on the way. 13 drones, though. There's the tanks getting set up, and that's the main thing. The Terrans with the tanks are just able to force the Zerg into such bad fights. And we'll see if Elazer's going to be able to shut this down easily, but look at that. The Terran's just paying attention. He's like, oh, Zerg comes at me. I don't know if you guys have seen that, like, Family Guy running away thing, like, ah. Like that dude who's running away or whatever, being chased. That's basically what the Terran does. That's a pretty obscure reference, but that's what the Terran does when they see that the Lings and Banes are coming for them. souL just starts splitting away. The Banelings roll forward. The tanks get some, actually not as many shots off as you'd like as souL.
I mean, he got 8 Banes, but like those Banelings, like I swear, one more tank shot would have killed off like 5 more. So souL not getting the damage done that he was maybe hoping. He's stepping forward versus the Queens, but the Queens using their transfuse, keeping each other alive. Lazer's got 1-1 done, whereas souL does not yet, so he's actually got a lead in that regard. Another tank coming forward. souL's actually gonna just send a Medivac to the south while maintaining this position here. He's gonna step forward, retreat to his tanks. Looks like there is this Medivac going for a drop, this Medivac going for a drop. Gonna try the classic pull him apart technique, all the while Elaser's thinking of a counterattack. So, if Elazer knew that souL had abandoned as many forces at this position, he'd probably dive on top of it. We see this Marine drop get on in though, kill 8 drones, kill the Lings. Does souL lift it up? Yes, he does. So souL gets 10 workers. He's also going to move this drop now towards the back of the base. Start killing some workers in the main base. All the while he's got this push pressuring the front. Elazer's got Lings and such near the supply depot. souL's ready to defend that though. This drop in the main base killed a few more workers, but then most of the units got cleaned up. This drop down to the south is gone. No, there it is. It's a Liberator now coming on in, which is a different flavor, going to require a different response from the Zerg. Elazer has realized how unenforced the center is, so he just pushes on in there, gets rid of that, which is nice for the Zerg. Liberator coming on in towards the main base. One at the natural, however, parked on top of the Spore is unfortunate for souL. Drop now moving back towards the 4th base, though. Elazer going to be losing more and more workers, now down to 61 workers to souL's 79. Elazer not responding to that appropriately, losing 24 workers in all, taking huge damage to just some continued harassment by souL. Elazer is heading towards a Lurker Den. He does have the upgrade lead, so yeah, he'll have the 2-2 if a fight does happen in the near future. So I'm not going to say he's down and out just yet. Okay. 2-2. About to finish up for souL, so maybe he'll push. He's got a drop moving out. I mean, Elazer is not playing poorly. Like, he's set up well. But then, it just seems that souL's playing a little bit sharper than Elazer is. Got a bit more of an edge to him. Here's this drop going off, like Elazer had units in position, but then souL just realizes that it wasn't enough Lings and unloads. These Lings are going to get on top of the Marines, but it's going to be a darn good trade. For the Terran, souL tries to snipe what Banes he can, all the while he's pushing at the front. That drop forced Elazer to pull everything pretty much from his front. souL even double stimming the Mad Lad, double stimming Elazer. Now his Banelings coming forward, gonna lose that base. Widow Mines go off. Oh, get some pretty good connections on the Zerg. But yeah, Elazer just taps out. GG. I think we see Elazer's mentality just doing what you'd expect after a best of 69 when you're this far behind. If these guys play 10 best of 5s, Elazer probably wins like a third to half. But as far as the last few maps of this goes, Elazer has been losing a lot more. Mainly just due to just due to his mentality. Like, he probably wants to be done with this. That's why we kept the cash incentive for each individual map. So maybe Elazer will, like, even at the end right now, maybe he'll just be like, I gotta play. I gotta keep playing. May as well try and get some dosh. Let's try and use those last 3 Matcherino coupons to go, guys. Coupon code best of 69. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in today.
I hope Elazer hasn't been showing terrible games or anything. I think he's just been, like, giving up a little early. Like, one thing goes wrong, and then it's like, oh, okay. So let's see a dirty proxy hatch, Elazer. Let's see the 16 pool. Let's do it. It's been 40. This will be the 50th game of Hatch First. Okay. Into the next game we go. Elazer rocking the Raynor pitcher, souL rocking not the Raynor pitcher. In the top right, repping the Squid Gang. It's souL. Cascade. What does that word mean? In the bottom left, it's Elazer. I'm gonna Google this. A steep, usually small fall of water. Right. Cascading. Yeah, okay. Cascading means like going over the edge of a cliff of water kind of thing. Interesting. I guess that kind of explains why it's a watery creature. Kinda is related. I dig it. Cascade is a team that could do with more credit. They've supported some players for a long, long time. It's a hatch first from Elazer. souL scouting out, worried about the proxy hatch. He's like, I love that souL, by the way, is still just gunning it 100%. Like, yeah, I'm worried about the hatch first. Or I mean, worried about the proxy hatch. souL has not ran out of steam this entire series. Like, the funny thing is, like, when the series starts off, like, you could kind of tell that, like, they were gauging each other, like, okay, can I win this? Can I win? And that's definitely affected their mentality. At least now the players will never... I don't think Elazer or souL will ever complain when a tournament has a best of 7 again. And they'll just be like, hey, remember that time you played a best of 69? Yeah, you do. Second Reaper, or no, first Reaper on the way for souL. He opened up with a Marine. Guess that gave him a slightly quicker factory in Starport.
Is this gonna be that Marauder thing? I don't think so, but it could be. No, why would it be? Derp, laughing derp. Hellions coming for souL. souL's feeling confident. He's just gonna dive into Elazer's natural. Oh god. Okay, good block by Elazer. Repositions the queen, runs the drones. Avoiding the Hellions. Oh god, they're all clumping up. Okay, no, he's doing a good job. He surrounds all but one of the Hellions. There's one Hellion left. It's gonna get an okay shot off, but no, solid hold by Elazer. Elazer slapping souL down a little bit, saying, get your hands off. You're not getting that $10 that easy. I wanted to see a Roach Horn here from Elazer, honestly. And then just send some Roachy boys across the map. Isn't that what you're supposed to do as a Zerg after the Terran throws away their Reaper and Hellions? I mean, they'd have no scouting. Elazer, though, says, nope, just gonna keep playing it out normally. I think, yeah, fires up a couple gases. Probably gonna be going for a Spire here. Quick-ish Spire. I mean, once the Terran loses those Hellions, you probably don't have to worry about a Hellbat all in, so Spire makes sense. But then at the same time, souL's kind of saying, no, I threw away 4 Hellions, but of course I've made 7 more. And then is building an armory too, so this is actually just a sneaky play by souL. Elazer is not expecting more aggression at this point. He's got 13 Lings to his name against 7 Hellions. You guys tell me who wins that fight. 13 Lings or 7 Hellions. The Lings are actually getting a pretty good angle. Alright, Banshees get pushed away. Baneling Nest about to finish up for Elazer. souL not going for a Hellbat push or anything though. He's got Stim done, he's got Combat Shield on the way. I honestly like the position of Elazer based on what souL's gone for. I mean, does Elazer fire up some Banelings though to deal with the Hellbats? Yeah, he does, he fires up 9. Unless these Hellbats push forward really quickly and get on top of these Banes, I think this is going to be fine for Elazer. Like, it's 9 Banes against 12 Hellbats. There's the Banes finishing up. Darn good connections. There's still a lot of Terran, but I mean, I think Elazer's going to clean this up pretty dang easy. The Banshees are working on it, but yeah, souL just taps out. Yeah. souL a little bit overconfident there. Gave Elazer a branch and says, this is not the score to die. GG. That's kind of nice. Elazer, like, showed us don't just roll over and die. It's not like Elazer wanted to die there. He had a perfect response to the Terran YOLOing 4 Hellions. And then souL committed to more Hellions, but those Hellions really did not do anything. Like, yeah, souL's Hellbat all-in was late. Like, when he lost the 4 Hellions, the Elazer went greedy. And so you're like, oh, okay. This is fine. Fine to be greedy. The Hellions are dead. Probably not. I got spores, so I'm fine from Banshees. Not much to worry about. souL kept making Hellions.
And so he had the potential for a bit of like a sneaky attack, but he delayed the sneaky attack so much and then revealed those Hellions. And so Elazer was like, oh, you're still building Hellions. Cool. I'm ready for that. I'm there for it. And thus, Elazer has won at least 3 maps today, which is a lot better than 2. Okay. We see souL just going for a Reaper Expand. Or presumably a Reaper Expand. Normal Expand. Maybe that's what we should start calling it. Elazer doing his due diligence with his overlords, I really like that. Because I was literally thinking, like, is souL gonna proxy? And clearly it was Elazer. Yeah, Reaper Expand. Accelerated Reapers. Ah, Roach Warren from Elazer. I wonder what makes him decide to do that on Beckett Industries. Is this the map with the weird rush distance? It's actually a lot shorter than it should be or something? Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't actually have any idea which map it was, I just know that there was a map. Reaper checking for a base. In reality, it's a Roach Warren on the way. souL's like, where's that third at? He's gonna loop down, probably do a check on this base again. And then he'll be like, okay, something's up. And then I'll loop back to this one. Or he'll see a Roach and he'll definitely know something's up. Like, souL's sus right now. If this was me, I'd be like, oh, is that normal? I'd have hesitation right now. souL has no hesitation. He's already got a bunker on the way. He's like, if I don't start reacting now, I will literally die. And now he knows something's coming his way. He's got a Marauder on the way. Elazer's going for some big Ravagers. The bunker's on the high ground, interestingly enough. So souL not trying to hold his natural. So Elazer does have the option to macro out of this and just bully souL off his natural base. That might not be a bad choice as we see more drones going up. The Hellions are going to run on in. There's the Fulings and Queens though. He almost gets one of them, but he has not yet. It looks like he gets the Reaper. Gonna get the second Hellion, so he's doing just fine. Pushing souL off his natural base. And I think that's all Elazer really needs to do here. Keep souL off his natural base till the Banshee's done. Banshee pops out. Elazer runs home. Or he's actually just gonna run home now. That's an interesting choice. Because souL's probably not gonna go take his natural right away. He's like, oh, there's still the Roaches there, but Elazer's going right home for defensive purposes and not to lose anything, a single unit to the Banshee. I really like that. Yeah, not a bad spot, I don't think, for Elazer. Kind of put souL into a bit of a box. Okay, Hellions come on in. They are getting some
decent shots off. 3 dead drones for 3 dead Hellions. souL's probably okay with that. As the Hellions probably wouldn't have done much anyway. Liberator harassment being planned. Queen's on the way out. There's the Spore Crawler there. We got a little bit of damage done, but not too much. Liberator just gets pushed right away. The Banshee being used to clean up creep. I like that. Bully that Roach Ravager. Almost gets the Ravager. Great transfuse. Lazer's playing sharp. Drop phase beginning for souL. It'll be a bit of a pain for Elazer to respond to this until he's got that roach speed done. Once he does, it's fairly quick. souL boosting towards the main base. It's like there are a couple roaches there. He may be able to get on top of them, but he just turns around. Oh, great positioning by Elazer. The Liberator's here too, but isn't it ridiculous how Lazer's just playing so darn good still? And it's actually really impressive. Like, based off how he kind of just like gave up and died that other game, I was like, oh, is this the end? But the answer is no. And trust me, I'm glad, because having games which Elazer is suddenly, almost seemingly like he's turning it around. Like, he's the guy with the momentum right now, I'd say. souL's having a hard time landing blows. It's exciting. 2-2 is on the way for souL, so he's got an upgrade lead. Lazer's getting up an Infestation Pit and a Hydrogen. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, this, I'm just getting worried, because this is the point which things have seemingly gone wrong for Elazer towards this point in the game. But at the same time, like... Elazer hasn't had such a supply lead before. Or not that often in these games. souL gets a couple Overlords, that's a nice play. Get some creep. Hive's on the way for Elazer. There's that Lurker Den. souL's dropping all over the place. Gets the Overseer even. That's a bit of a jerk move. Random scan by souL. I guess worried about a counterattack? Rightfully so, but I don't think it'll be too bad for him. He's got a good chunk of bio. Yeah, Elazer's not serious about it. He pulls back. The Banshee will go down pursuing those roaches. I'm gonna be kind of concerned for Elazer now, that he's basically just started his +2 attack, whereas souL's already gonna have his 2-2 in about 30 seconds. This is going to be a little bit tough. souL fighting now is actually kind of good for Elazer in that regard. Because once souL has his 2-2, and Elazer's going to be a ways away from Hydras, I think, before then. It's worrisome. Unless Elazer starts like morphing Hydras and Lurkers now, pardon me. We see a counterattack, a lot of roaches on souL's side of the map, getting 10 SCVs just like that. Really nicely done. souL's got a 4th base attempt on the way, but he's just forcing a fight right now. His 2-2 is done. So souL's basically just simming to win, and this is where the concern for Elazer was. He's been doing really well, but at the same time, he doesn't have anything that can contend with 2-2 bio. Like, it's Hydras against Marines. It doesn't work out when the Marines have an upgrade advantage, particularly. Elazer doesn't have that critical mass. He had a beautiful counterattack. He's dropping across the bile, hoping to get a big hit. But in the end, there's no lurkers. He's got 29 roaches on the way, but if they just trickle out like this, it's not going to go good for him. I mean, it's a lot of roaches, the 29 he just made, but look at how well the Marines are doing. Oh, what? This is terrible for Elazer. Oh gosh, he was looking so darn good too. I mean, souL does get repelled, but he just killed 2 bases. I mean, he's ahead 20 workers. GG, yeah. Darn, Elazer. Ah, well. Well done by souL. Able to bring himself to match point. souL needs to win 1 more. I thought Elazer was gonna turn that around, and I really started rooting for him. I'm just such a bad caster, always rooting for the guy who's the underdog. Such a caster thing to do. Like a part of me is like, oh yeah, let's wrap this up, and then I can go to bed, even though it's 8 a.m. or almost 9 a.m. But then the other part of me is like, hey, Elazer's doing pretty good. And I like seeing that, I really do. And I'm darn gonna hype it up. I'm darn sure gonna hype it up. Alright, both players are ready. souL literally just messaged me saying, final game. I said, if you win. souL says, I'm calling it. He's calling it here. souL is so confident. Never in the history of anything has anyone ever been so overconfident. Came back to bite them in the rear. But I think souL's pretty safe being confident here. That he's going to win the series. Not necessarily that he's going to win this map, though. Yeah, anyway. Here we are on Blackburn. In the bottom left, it is Elazer. And in the bottom right, it's souL. He called final map. Can you believe this guy? Is he going to battle cruiser it? That's my question. Blackburn just seems like a darn good BC map. But at the same time, maybe not. Like, it's kind of linear as far as the air paths go. But overall, I think this is a pretty good map for Terran. Like, the open air space is good. The attack path towards this space is pretty darn good. Like, you can kind of just hang out and siege up and stuff. Your opponent's going to be tight pressed to do anything about it. Realistically, if your opponent like breaks down these rocks and stuff, all of a sudden it becomes way, way worse. But those rocks have a lot of HP. And yeah. SCV runs right through that slow zone. One of these days someone's going to do the math to see if changing your course is worth it. Reaper goes through the slow zone on its way across the map. That's actually an interesting point. Inhibitor zones aren't like a map structure. Because like in the natural structure of the map, the unit will take the shortest possible pathing. But it doesn't take into effect inhibitor zones. And to be honest, if it did, it would be kind of defeat the point of inhibitor zones, or it would really make dealing with the pathing for them suck, but you know. souL bullying Elazer, trying to get a drone, but Elazer says no. souL gets a creep tumor though, that's a pain. That hurts. Seeing as how Elazer put it far back to be super safe, I suppose. I think? Why would you put a creep tumor there? Like, I don't know. I don't know, I'm not gonna question it. Okay, Reaper. Out on the map. souL's got his third CC on the way. He's got a tech lab on the way for his barracks. Makes me think it's gonna be that Hellbat Marauder stuff. Or it'll just be Stim. It'll just be... maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Stim. That makes more sense. And I'm honestly not shocked to see this. Like, 3cc is the way souL came into this series, and apparently it's the way he intends to go out. Fourth base on the way up for Elazer. souL's just macroing up. I mean, he's literally making 5 barracks at a time. I guess wants to pressure. I guess that's the main variant here. Wanting to pressure versus wanting to get your upgrades going as the Terran. By starting racks 4 and 5 before you go for your double eBay. I'm not even sure if there's variation there. If this is a thing Terrans always do, or... I don't believe it is. Anyway, third on the way for souL. souL hasn't really got any damage done to Elazer so far. I imagine he plans to kind of start dropping all over because of how exposed this kind of third and fourth here are. And then how you can kind of just bounce between these locations. That's going to make it a little bit rough. Elazer's spreading his creep. So is the fear for Elazer literally that if he spreads this tumor right now, that souL will kill it? Or what? I know that he's doing a lot of things, but like, why the delay on doing that? That's the question I have about his play, going kind of in depth there. Like, he could have spread that already and had it done 5-10 seconds earlier. I know souL's gonna come in and probably just kill it now, but creep would have been further out. It would have halted souL's advance a bit more. And sometimes halting souL's advance is all Elazer would need to win this. But anyway, there's the scan, as I said. Kills that off. The poor Overlord goes down too. Hellions ensure a kill on yet another creep tumor. Elazer's gonna respread that. Medivac's now joining souL's force. I didn't even realize he was lacking those on that first foray. Another scan goes down. Creep's been replaced by Elazer though, so that's going to buy him some time. souL's moving on in. There's a lot of queens here, which I think should do pretty darn well. Elazer loses another Overlord. He's going to need to replace those. Nice Ling counterattack. souL's signature depot though is going to give this away. That clearly works wonders. Queens taking a lot of damage from the Marines. Looks like Elazer's going to try and stop this. He did commit a lot of Lings on the other side of the map, though, which are not here for the defense. Now they're showing up, but might be a little bit too late here. Queens still staying alive, though. Lots of transfuse going down, but Elazer running out of units. souL's going to be stimming down the Queens.
And I think, by gosh, this could be it. The bio's rather stimmed. The tank goes down. Elazer's fighting it out. He's got his 1-1 done. These Marines are so overstimmed. Elazer could save the hatchery. He really needs to. His Lings are actually engaging the reinforcements while these injured boys on the front are doing work. GG gets called. souL, who rightfully called. That was it. GG. souL stopped making SCVs. That's a good point. GG. souL does it. souL does it. He won the best of 69. Guys. Don't cry because it's over. Enjoy that it happened. souL, with a beautiful map score at the end, wins 35-17. And we finish up today just after 4 hours. So that's pretty darn quick. Yeah. That was something. Wow. Yeah, that was actually great. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning into this. Big thanks to Afrika for sponsoring another one of these events. It was definitely something unique, and it's awesome that they kind of took a chance on it. That's awesome to see. And yeah, it really was great. GG there. Yeah, big thanks to the players for coming out, Elazer and souL. It was awesome to have 2 players of their caliber come and play. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.